Hey, this is episode 187 of the Collector's Quest podcast. In this episode, we're just talking about the Wii U. It's not a guide to collecting the Wii U. It's not a retrospective. It's, no one has talked about the Wii U for 4 years, so we're gonna talk about it and look at some of the crazier priced games that you would not expect to see on a console as not beloved as the Wii U. If you haven't noticed, the Switch has already been alive longer than the Wii U has, and Switch is still chugging along. 4 years into Wii U's life, it was dead with a capital D. So tell your mom about the show, give us 5 stars on iTunes, try to remember the last time you thought about the Wii U, and let's go. Going on, everybody in the metaverse? Welcome back to Nintendonomics. I'm your boy, tax exempt Tyler, here with Johnny. What's going on, Johnny?
Hey, not much, whatever name
you never know
yourself.
How to respond because you never know what I'm going to open with.
No, we don't do a standard opening. It's like always close, but never actually just how it should be.
Johnny, we're talking about zigging when the others are zagging. We're talking about going for them blue ocean investments while other people are in the red ocean, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't, but I can guarantee that most of these games have had a double bottom and are starting to spike. We're doing like bullshit, like
technical analysis.
Talk, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you could definitely tell the future by looking at the past. That's just how it works.
Yeah. So what are we talking about? Do you even know? Do I have to tell you what we're talking about?
I was told last episode, or for like 2 episodes now, you wanted to do an episode on the surprising collectability of the Wii U.
Yeah,
and
that was my funny title.
When you first said that, the thing that popped into my mind was, what surprising collectability of the Wii U? Because Johnny, it's the Wii U.
I know. And my point was, I was going to take you on a little journey and surprise you with some of the games that are actually selling on the Wii U and why. Also, the why of the Wii U. I don't understand. This is the Collector's Quest is baffled by people spending money on the Wii U episode.
If we didn't have to put like, not like total clickbait, but if we didn't have to put a title that made sense, the why of the Wii U would be a pretty good title, Johnny.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so this isn't going to be a So You Want to Collect. We also had a Wii U episode 4 years ago, which, like, I can't even believe I've been on this podcast for 4 years. You know what? We might be covering some ground again, but you don't remember that show anyway, and it was back when we had shitty audio quality, so don't go back and listen to it.
I think also 4 years passed. I think we can retread some ground that we covered 4 years ago. You might say things have changed in the last 4 years as well.
So, a little bit. So that was right when the Wii U was pretty much dead. I remember the cover art for that episode was me sticking a Pikmin 3 disc into my Switch. Because Pikmin 3 was pretty much the only game on the Wii U that had not been ported to Switch. And now here we are 4 years later, and literally everything has been ported to Switch, and I have not seen anyone talk about the Wii U in a long time.
No, that's not true. There's a bunch of games that are still exclusives to the Wii U.
Oh, okay. I'm ready to talk about them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the next Sega Saturn, Johnny, so it must have a bunch of exclusives that people are excited over.
It is funny to say it is the next Sega Saturn, because as we were discussing, I think that is something Kat and I said before you were even on the show. So that makes it like 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And then you made a joke about it when you came on the show, like, you know, somewhere around that 4-year mark, probably in that very episode where we were talking about whether it was dead. And then I literally watched a YouTube video, and within the first 30 seconds, this guy said the Wii U is the next Sega Saturn. 30 seconds in, and I was just like, man, we said some dumb thing, and somehow it got out into the world, and people have been regurgitating it, and they still are. And we were not correct, I don't think. Do you wish to dispute that point?
Now, I have only ever said that facetiously because I don't think it has anything in common with Sega Saturn besides that it's a semi-failed console. I mean, by Nintendo terms, clearly failed. I mean, Sega was already floundering with stuff like the 32X. I guess compared to the Genesis, it was a pretty big failure.
Well, and that's, well, if you want to draw comparisons, that is one thing it has in common, right? Because the Wii U launches right after the Wii, and everything looks like a failure after the Wii because the Wii was a juggernaut.
Yeah.
So, like, putting it in the wake of the Wii and like trying to compare those as the same thing it's not tenable. Also, they gave it this horrible name, the Wii U, which was just confusing because, like, does it play Wii games? Not really. Okay. What? Yeah. This was bad naming. I know what they wanted to capitalize on, but too many people who weren't into video game culture bought the Wii to make that kind of naming convention.
Yes. All right. Sell me on the hot exclusives, Johnny. So first of all,
you want to know some exclusives?
So prices aside, zigging when people are zagging aside, tell me that the Wii U is interesting. I have defended the Wii U in the past. I think people will eventually see it as the original place for a bunch of games, not a great number of games, but it's got its Mario game. It's got Super Mario Maker. If that becomes a thing, this is the first Super Mario Maker. It's got Breath of the Wild, technically the version Breath of the Wild was developed for. Maybe somehow in some universe that gains a status similar to Twilight Princess on GameCube, where it wasn't the marquee console at launch, but people kind of like that version more because it, one, has a more attractive box because it's black, and two, it was technically the original version.
Well, I think some of that might come true, right? One of the things the Wii U has going for it is that it didn't perform well, and the Switch has performed incredibly well, and the Wii performed incredibly well. So it's in this weird middle zone where you did get games that got ported out to the Switch, right? So if people only care about the original releases, if they are the Tylers of the world, this is the system they're going to have to go back to, and there's going to be maybe less of them because this system didn't sell well. So if you want your original Pikmin 3, you're going to have to go there. But there are some exclusives that I can give you. Do you want me to?
I want prove to me this is the Sega Saturn, because when people think Sega Saturn,
look, listen, don't put me in that box. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not even saying that it's incredibly interesting. I'm saying people are paying a lot of big money for certain games on this system, and it's a little confusing right now. I think that maybe people will eventually gravitate to the Wii U a little more. Like, I think people are just picking it up, but I'm confused because I keep seeing videos about the Wii U, but I never see it posted, like, aside from like YouTube, I never see anyone posting it on like Instagram. Like, I don't see in any of the, high end rooms, no one's talking about the Wii U. So like, where is the Wii U heat coming from? Why do people get so many clicks on Wii U videos? I don't understand that.
It's crazy that you say that just because I get recommended those same videos. So it will be either more kind of modern era collectors, or it will be like flipper channels get recommended to me, and they'll have like YouTube face. They'll be holding a stack of blurred out Wii U games, and they'll be like, Wii U games are worth how much? And I think it's funny. I get recommended those same videos, but in our collecting circle, and we are in a specific Instagram collecting circle where we kind of pick and choose who we do follow. But man, no one cares about Wii U right now.
No one.
And I remember a few years ago, like when Wii U was more current, obviously because it was like the newest Nintendo console, but people would post Wii U games. People were like, oh yeah, check it out. I got Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U. That's kind of neat. The only thing I've seen in the past 4 years is like, Shakedown Hawaii came out. Oh, weird. The limited run game. What was that Metroid game that came out?
Axiom.
Axiom Verge finally came out after weird years of limbo. Like, that's the only thing I've ever seen collectors talk about besides.
Well, and Just Dance.
Oh, Just Dance, because the last Just Dance on a console always becomes an instant collectible, Johnny. It's just the way of the world.
Well, it's funny because we'll get into some of the exclusives, but the funny thing with Just Dance is Just Dance 2020, which I had on my sheet, like, as a for sure thing once they announced it. never came out on the Wii U, but it did come out on the Wii.
Yeah. Honestly, like one of the craziest things to ever happen in gaming. Like when you start making the timelines of like first and last games on consoles, to have a console from a previous generation completely surpass, maybe Shakedown Hawaii ruined that, but like for a series completely surpassed, that's probably the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there might be some like obscure PS2 game or something. I don't know.
You're right. I mean, like, there are consoles like Atari 5200 where, like, the 2600 just blew past it like it didn't exist, but...
Yeah. I mean, but especially for modern day, it's like, it's still weird. It doesn't matter if it's happened before. It's a weird thing, and it's not expected. So,
despite that, I mean, speaking from a Wii U's perspective, that makes Just Dance 2020 on Wii a pretty interesting thing, and it makes nothing about Just Dance on Wii U interesting.
That's correct.
Man, Johnny, 4 years ago, I thought like Just Dance 2016 Gold and Just Dance 2017 Gold, I thought those were going to be like super cool, like kind of late release things that like people would want. And those aren't even like the second and last Just Dance on the console. Just, oh my God.
So yeah, those aren't even that expensive anymore. Now, like you can get a 2017 for $10.
I need to go get those now. I need to go check which ones I don't have and just go get them. Because I feel like my shelf is a little incomplete because they do have such different spines, right? They have a goldish spine.
The gold ones have a gold. It's like a blue and gold spine.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to get those because now I feel like I'm lacking with my just peasant versions of those.
Yeah, I just bought the peasant version because I didn't have it because it finally is like $8 new or something. I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah, the most expensive Just Dance, not that we want to talk about Just Dance forever, but is the 2019 one. That game is actually kind of hard to find on the Wii U and expensive. So it goes between like $50 and $80 now.
Okay, that's not too bad. When I see games like, I mean, it's also not that old, but whenever something stupid like this comes out that shouldn't come out on the console because you wouldn't think there's enough demand for it. There's all these people who get hyped and they're like, I need to go to Walmart and buy out all of them. But when you do the math, it's like you know that your local Target and Walmart will be carrying this game. It's a brand new release and every Target and Walmart around the country is getting them. So how rare could it possibly be?
Couldn't be.
That's how I just feel about all modern games. But you know what? Just go buy these for $500 one day. Prove me wrong, people speculating on Just Dance games. But yeah, I've never bought any of these weird late releases that like are not garbage. I mean, I think Just Dance is fine, but I'd never buy just a random thing just because it could be late. I might never be able to get this. I can't think of one thing that's happened to. Since what? Give me in the past 15 years one game like that's happened to.
I can't.
Oh, someone listening can. I remember there was a guy on Nintendo Age called like Let's Sing 2016. I don't know if that was an original guy who changed his name or something, but I don't know if it was a joke or they're like hyping Let's Sing 2016. Does anyone care about Let's Sing 2016, Johnny?
That was like a weird Wii release that was supposedly recalled because there was nudity in one of the videos.
Oh, is that the deal? Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah. Did I get this?
I don't know if it was actually recalled, but that was what it was about. And there's a version with the microphone, and then a bunch got found without the microphone. But it wasn't like a big box, like sealed. It was like an outer plastic box had the microphone, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I've got. And like, there's like 3 sealed ones with the microphone on eBay. And it's like, there's that many, like it can't be that amazingly rare of a game. Like, it's obviously not common.
I think it got pushed out, but I think the initial controversy, I don't know if it was like, you know how bad information spreads. I don't know if people like, it's recalled because nudity and Nintendo. And then everyone just went crazy whether that was true or not.
I don't know the story at all, but just based on what you're saying, it makes it sound to me like it's some nudity that probably would be totally fine in Europe, but in America, we're just not going to deal with this nipple you can kind of see through a shirt in the background over here.
I think it was like full nipple.
Oh, man. Wow.
I know. Wow. Woo. Heaven forbid. Tyler, hey, lift up your shirt, look down. That's what you can see.
Oh, my goodness.
On that video. You know, the Funny thing about man nipples and female nipples is they look vaguely the same if you're zoomed in. So who cares?
I don't know why you're bringing that up. Like that's something that's a piece of knowledge you make use of.
My point there is, and it's in a very roundabout way, is that who cares if you see a boob or a nipple? It's not that big a deal.
Yes.
It's not that big a deal.
Johnny, to bring it back, you still have not convinced me that the Wii U is even worth collecting, let alone that it will be a...
You have not let me get to some of the exclusives.
I know, we're getting sidetracked a little bit.
Okay. What if I told you that there was a Game & Wario exclusive, a Star Fox exclusive, some Sonic exclusives, Smash Bros? These are exclusive games.
Yep.
Are you in?
So all right, let's pretend that you listed a random smattering of exclusives and not like the top exclusives, and it included like a WarioWare game that I mean, it's hard to say no one ever talks about because it's on the Wii U and kind of no one talks about things by default. Like a generation Smash Brothers game, which they're just going to replace the next generation, and then Sonic games, which are basically beloved by children, and I think a generation maybe a little younger than us that's nostalgic for 3D Sonic games, even though they're a little bad. I guess they're not awful sometimes, but they're not good. No. I know Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is not a beloved game. I don't think that's exclusive either.
No, but the other one is Sonic
Lost World?
Yeah, Lost World and the Deadly Six. What is it called?
Talking about some first print shit?
Yep, we are. And I want to make sure I get it right. So it is Sonic. Oh man, I have to go to my advanced checklist. I'm totally just going to get it wrong now. Now it's gone too long, Tyler. You're going to have to cut it. Sonic Lost World Deadly Six bonus edition. That's the foil. It's got a foil cover. It's the first print. Then the next one is just the regular edition, and it does not say Deadly Six, and it does not have a foil cover. So I don't know if it actually has like the Deadly Six bonus content. One of the things that was interesting about this game is you do get the Nights into Dreams Boss Rush stuff in here. So like Sega was just playing on Sega stuff, and people were interested in that. So people do like Lost World. It's not like the best Sonic game, but it's not Rise of Lyric, which isn't exclusive, but no one likes that.
Okay, John, I haven't played Lost World. I literally know nothing about it. I'm so out on 3D Sonics. But give me a rebuttal here. I'm going to rebut you without having played it, which is like the least that is so not gamer, Johnny. I'm just making shit up out of the top of my head here. So, some Sega Saturn games I could think of. Dragon Force, Burning Rangers, Astal, Saturn Bomberman, Guardian Heroes, Shining Force 3, and like 2 other Shining games that people collect but no one actually plays. Panzer Dragoon 1, 2, and Saga. Magic Knight Ray Earth, another game that people collect but don't actually play. That's not really an exclusive. I think that's on Super Famicom. Anyway, forget all of those. In fact, Panzer Dragoon Saga, an RPG I think maybe is a little overrated. Panzer Dragoon Saga is a Saturn game you could point to and say, wow, that's an exclusive. That's exciting. I want a Sega Saturn just so I can play that and just so I can own that. Name one game on the Wii U that could ever be that.
I
need you to play Devil's Advocate. It's a podcast. You can't just agree with me.
Okay. Devil's Advocate. All right. I'm like, I agree with you. Okay, let me look at the list of Nintendo Land.
Oh yeah, that's the one. It will be exclusive forever.
You will never have another game like Devil's Third anywhere else.
Will you not? So I've only seen a playthrough of it, and it just looks like a third-person shooter, Johnny.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's garbage.
I've heard in Japan that they don't have a negative opinion of it like Americans do. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's a grasshopper
got
game.
very mediocre
Japan
reviews.
just likes weird stuff. That's like they sometimes game mechanics don't matter as long as something is weird enough. They're like, oh yeah, this game's fucking awesome. So,
well, it was one of the guys from Team Ninja left like one of the head guys from Team Ninja left, made his own studio, and then made this game.
Oh, was it Team Ninja? I thought it was Grasshopper.
No, the guy from Team Ninja
Itagaki? Is he who made it?
I'm saying, I don't know if it was
no,
him
it is.
or someone else
looked
from
it up.
Team
He's
Ninja.
the guy with the cool sunglasses
All right,
who made Ninja Gaiden.
Yep. Right, which is probably why the Devil's Third has the guy with cool sunglasses on the cover.
It's him. He's it's him role playing himself. I never even thought of that, Johnny.
Yeah, deep insights. So yeah, Devil's Third. All right, how about this? Earthbound Beginnings in English.
Is this some virtual console thing? They translated the prototype. Was it a prototype or did they translate just Mother?
I think they just translated Mother with new translation, and everyone was like, "Yay!" Kind of. But what I think all the Earthbound and Mother fans really want is Earthbound 3. Anyways, yeah, and you can still remember this. The interesting thing about the Wii U was also created the great downtrend of Earthbound for like a year because they released it digitally on the Wii U, where it still is the only place aside from the Super Nintendo you can play Earthbound.
I guess that's the thing. What's an Earthbound cart cost now? $300. So I mean, great work Wii U on keeping that down. Everyone is breaking out their Wii U to play Earthbound these days.
It was like $1,000 at the time, and like even carts were going for crazy money, and it totally dropped the price, and then it rebounded because everything does. I don't know what Earthbound goes for now. Let's check Earthbound cart only.
Hey, Nintendonomics Nation, we're checking in on Earthbound. Let's get a sound from the soundboard,
okay,
Johnny.
About $500.
What, loose?
Yep.
That's from eBay, not like price charting nonsense?
Yeah, that's eBay. Here, let me change it to most recent, because with a game that sells this often and is not rare, you should check most recent. The last one sold for $300, plagued by repros everywhere. Just like, be careful of that. And yeah, between $300 and $500 is over the last couple months is what it's been going for. But yeah, if you do your work, you can find a cheap one. A cheaper one, a $300 one, as you said.
I'm still trying to think of exclusives, Johnny. I'm trying to think of anything interesting. The most interesting thing.
What the Star Fox isn't interesting to you at all?
No, it is not. I didn't beat it. I played it, and it was just like, this is weird. With you hold the controller in front of your TV.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, they also gave you that other exclusive Star Fox Guard game.
I didn't even play that.
Yeah, that's tower defense. Who cares? You can be Slippy and play tower defense. Who gives a shit?
Like, great, Johnny. You're really selling this to me. Like,
you told me to play devil's advocate from an untenable position.
I know, it's great. It's great. Everybody's really enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm like, let's tell you about the surprising shit that's worth money. And Tyler's like, let me sabotage this episode and tell you why a system like the Saturn, which is just chock full of exclusives and also locked into a system that you can't play because you can play, but it's hard to get it on modern TVs. You have to like jump through hoops versus the fucking Wii U. Come on, man.
Oh, you know what we didn't mention, Johnny? All right, well, let's talk about some actual collectible bullshit. So you brought up Game & Wario as like in your top 5 Wii U exclusives. That's like $110 now. I did not know that. I mean, I know that like kind of everything doubled since COVID, but like, who's paying $110 for Game & Wario?
$110
like, talk about a game
is
that
a good price.
When I went over to GameStop, Spot, whichever one, Stop. Back when I was hunting down Wii U games, you'd go over to their sad little shelf of like 7 games, and there would be a Game & Wario probably next to the Wii Wonderful 101 or whatever it's called.
Yep.
And maybe if you're really lucky, a Wii Sports Club, Johnny. Yeah, it was all first party stuff that GameStop always had.
How about Wii Party U? Is that one selling you?
That has a big box, right? No,
it does have a big box.
Like, you're telling me these games? That's in the Wii. Is that in the Wii series? Is that a Nintendo game?
There's a Wii Party, which is also a little weird. But yeah, Wii Party U Comes in a big box with a black Wiimote.
Yeah. So this is crazy, John. This is a first-party Nintendo game. I cannot remotely bring this up to my brain. I cannot, this does nothing for me. Like, Wii Music, who cares about Wii Music? I could think about the gameplay of Wii Music and I at least know what Wii Music is. Wii Party U, I look at, and I've looked at the box before, and I've looked at it while considering what game I should play, and I'm just like, I'm just going to play Nintendo Land. Why would I not just play Nintendo Land?
Just so you know, there is a non-big box version too.
Oh, all right. I think I have, I don't remember which one I have, Johnny. I might have the non-big box. My Wii
so there's the one, like
really
I said, the one with the Wii U and with the Wiimote. There, here's one of the interesting things. There is a whole series of games on the Wii U that come with Wiimotes, and they all go for money. They all go for dumb money. Another game that goes for that went for dumb money. Look at this one. We're keeping it in the Wii U, the stupid Wiimote world. Go ahead and look at Nintendo Land, Luigi, and Wiimote, and look for that. You'll find that game regularly sells for over $200 with the Wiimote, and has been doing so for a long time. I don't know why.
Who's buying these? You guys aren't posting them on Instagram. No one's like, dude, I got the Nintendo Land Luigi thing.
I know.
There's only one on eBay. It's sealed. It's $300. And let's see, is it even in good shape? You know what? They've got a box protector around it. Maybe it is in kind of good shape.
Mine's in terrible shape, and I couldn't find one for a long time when I was getting mine.
Did you just watch this listing?
No.
Someone just watched it in the last 24 hours. People are looking for these Nintendo Lands with Luigi Wiimote. I remember these being a thing. I remember people looking for them probably a little after their time when people were like, oh, there weren't a lot of these out there. Yeah, only one on eBay sold. Is there a rare Yoshi Woolly World plushie, Gianni? Do you want to tell me about the surprising collectability of Yoshi's
There's
Woolly
three. So Yoshi's Woolly World did get a sequel on the Switch, but not a port. You can find it in big box, and you can get a cute little Yoshi amiibo in green, blue, or pink. So kind of a neat exclusive to have. But keeping with I wanted to go back to the Wiimote stuff. Another dumb one, Sonic and Mario at Sochi 2004 Olympic Winter Games. That comes with an exclusive Wiimote. Really dumb. There's some Japanese exclusive sets that come with Wiimotes too. Yeah, just look for the dumb. Anything that's dumb and comes with the Wiimote is expensive.
I mean, it makes sense because I feel like I'm making this up. But when I buy a console, if I don't have controllers for it, I will just buy the controllers for it when I buy the console. And if I'm a kid and I get a something for Christmas, it's here, we got this new game and it comes with a controller for your shitty brother. I'm not keeping the box. And just that Luigi bundle, the only two on eBay, there's one unsold, one sold, both were new. So I'm guessing that people just do not keep these boxes.
You want to get the real heat? You want the real heat though?
Yes.
Check out Just Dance Target exclusive 2015. You want to spend $400 on a Wiimote?
I don't.
I don't.
Didn't Nintendo Twizer get all the Wiimotes ever? Did he have this? Was this a hot one?
I think he had them for the Wii. All the different colors.
Are these not Wiimotes? Holy shit. What is this? This isn't even new. This is complete. There's one on eBay. I'm going to call it 7 out of 10 condition. It's got some crushed corners. If you're really generous, maybe you'd call it an 8. $1,600.
One of the 2015 sold for $400 not so long ago. But that's why I'm saying there is some dumb ass shit on the Wii U. This is what I mean. That's surprising. Look, you've been surprised multiple times already. I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. You see, you're right, because when I look at a bunch of just weird vintage stuff that I'm into, and if I see a game that's going for hundreds of dollars, I usually pause and I'm like, is there something better I could buy with that money? But someone's out there just YOLOing like, oh my God, it was listed October 27th, 2021. It's the day I found the Target exclusive Just Dance 2015, and I slammed that buy it now button for $440.
Right. So let's talk about, let me take you into, and we've talked about these on the show before, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. But like true kind of grail items, big, heavy quotation marks on that, is the Nintendo store exclusive, New York store exclusives. You have Mario 8, Mario Kart 8, and Hyrule Warriors, which were only sold there pretty much launch day, and they sold out immediately. They come in big boxes. They're like considered collector's editions, but really it's just the same game packed in a bigger box. I don't even think it says not for resale on the back. I can't remember. But those things go for some cash now.
I mean, so we haven't checked in 4 years. What's an actual price on one of those now?
I think Hyrule Warriors has sold for as high as 3,000 and as low as 2,000 recently.
And Mario Kart?
I want to say 1,500, but I'm gonna look.
Okay, are these this equal in terms of rarity?
I don't know if they're equal in terms of rarity.
All right,
the Mario Kart one came out after, right? I think it was Zelda and then Mario Kart. Is that true? Am I wrong? No, Mario Kart had to come out first,
think about
right?
These, Johnny. I'm gonna just trust you all the way on this.
I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. I think I'm not sure when Mario Kart 8 has been out forever, so I can't reasonably say when it came out anymore. It's just
you can still go to Target and buy Mario Kart 8 on the Nintendo
and you know
Switch.
What? It's still good too. That's the problem with it, is it's still the best Mario Kart.
So I'll take your opinion on that, and that part of the reason I think it's crazy that the Mario Kart one sells for less than Hyrule Warriors, because it's not even a Zelda game, it's a Zelda spin-off game. And Mario Kart is the most popular Nintendo franchise.
Yes.
But collectors are just like, well, but it's a racing game. It's the most popular Nintendo franchise. And obviously don't collect what other people think is cool. But you would think there would be some more collectability to the most popular Nintendo franchise.
I agree. So let me tell you a little bit about Hyrule Warriors and why this version is even worse than we're talking about. Okay, so the Japanese collector's edition comes with like a little treasure chest, like a Triforce, and a scarf, and like an art book. The Wii U version in America just comes with a scarf. There's currently a graded one listed for 10,000. We got a 7,000 or best offer, 3,700 or best offer, and there's one listed right now for $2,000, and it has a bid on it. So minimum, this is going to sell for $2,000. And if we go over to solds, and
there's that many.
There was one that sold January 16th, so very currently, for $3,000, had 49 bids. So people were fighting on this.
I don't get it. So that one was sealed. You're talking about the January 16 one that was sealed.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's
most
a huge
of these
price
are going to be
difference
sealed,
either
right?
way.
Who opened these?
I guess, yeah.
So
I don't get it, Johnny, but I don't.
So,
I mean, like I'll see it in someone's background on Instagram, and I guess I like appreciate them. Like, whoa, those are a thing, but it's just. It would never even like, oh my God, this one that's sealed is like, it's got like a dent on the front. $3,000, really?
These boxes are not like super tough.
Oh yeah, these boxes are garbage. I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's got a huge dent on the side. Jesus, this sold for $3,000, Johnny.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's like,
so now,
what does the entire Wii U set cost? I know I stated on like a previous show that you can get like the entire Wii U set for $2,000, and I wouldn't count this as part of the Wii U set, but after seeing like this and then like Game & Wario for $110, I think I was way off now.
Well, and you haven't checked in on Devil's Third, which is like a $300 game.
Oh, yes. We didn't talk
Devil's
about that
300.
yet. There's a couple like sealed copies for like $400-500 in sold listings, and then the complete in box ones for like $300 ish.
Yep.
Because they only made 400 copies of that game, and they sold out instantly in GameStop, Johnny.
Yes, that's
What
true.
if that was an intentional rumor started by someone? Like, no, that must have been just someone misinterpreting some kind of inventory system. Like, some idiot employee took a screenshot of something, and they're like, this is the US allocation for this game. They only made 400 copies. They know it's garbage. And that became the story of the game somehow.
Here, I want to just do this. So this is my favorite response. So people, the number I always hear on this game is like 500. They only made 500 of these. And they were only at GameStops. But I know they were sold at GameStops and EB Games and also at Best Buy. And then we think there was a re-release at GameStop. So let me tell you that people say, oh yeah, like they only went to GameStops and each store only got one or two. How many GameStop stores are there?
I don't know. GameStop's still in business?
Yeah, right now, this is,
I have no idea.
I'm looking up, and this is 2021 as opposed to like 2014. GameStop stores in 2021, 4,816. I'm going to hazard a guess and say there's less GameStops now than there was in 2015. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So if every store only got one or two copies, how could this number possibly be 400 or 500?
There's at least 25 copies in eBay solds. I'm trying to filter out how many are Japanese, and most of them are brand new. Because I think, so the story about its rarity got out like right when it came out. So I think a lot of people intentionally didn't open this, like even more than like a normal weird collector bait copy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Why? Why did that just happen? Sorry.
This game's actually spiked like relatively recently. If you go back to some of these older listings, like even like October, November, like
it was going for like 300 and now started to hit like the 500.
And now it's up to like 400 or 500. What is?
Yeah. And this is beyond just the COVID spike. This is this is after the COVID spike and is spiking again in 2022 for fucking reasons unbeknownst to me. I just don't know. This is what I mean. I see things like this and I don't know what is generating heat for this stupid game.
I mean, considering they're sealed copies, I have to imagine that it's someone who is just hunting like what they think is the rarest stuff. Like if they type in rarest Wii U games, you'll probably find lists with this at the top of it. And they're just like, all right, I'm getting in early. It doesn't matter what I pay. As long as I buy this and grade this, that'll be a great investment having the rarest Wii U game. But man, it's Devil's Third. I cannot imagine having $500 and not having a better video game to buy than a sealed Devil's Third on the Wii U, Johnny. That's sold today, by the way.
Yeah, here's a collector's tip. Go buy like a PAL Wii U for like $200 and Devil's Third for $15 and enjoy yourself.
This is why I think it's really important. I mean, I don't think anyone is fucking spending $500 on a sealed Devil's Third that's listening to this podcast. But this is why I think it's really important to have a good list of everything you want. Because then when something comes up and you're like, oh man, it's a Devil's Third at my local store and it's only $230. Like maybe you could flip that, sure. But you look at your list and you're like, oh, for $230, I could buy an Evo card. I don't know. What do people buy, Johnny? What's a cool game?
I don't know. Earthbound. You could go buy a
I would say Earthbound if you didn't just tell me it was like a $400 cartridge now.
You could, but for that money, you could go buy, an Earthbound.
You could buy a complete in box Mario 3 and take your girlfriend out to dinner.
True.
Always the best option. In fact, you should just do that every week. Just be like, fuck video games. I'm just going to buy a Mario 3. End of the year, I'm going to have 52 copies of Mario 3. And if I post that on Multiple Video Games Monday for the Nintendonomics Nation, you're going to get like 1,000 likes on Instagram for doing that. So.
Well, I think we have to workshop that name. Is Nintendonomics too? Should it be Nintendonomics?
I had to come up with it.
No, I like yours better.
On the fly. I had to come up with a fake video game investing show name, Johnny.
Okay, well, you did it. Okay, so I just want you guys to know that there's not a good price for Mario Kart 8. They're saying they've sold for like between $15 and $2,000. I don't know why Mario Kart is worse. It's like a Serious Buster special edition. It just comes with a blue shell. It comes with like a 50-cent blue shell in this big box. It's so dumb. As someone who owns it, I'm telling you, it's so dumb. Blue shell looks fine, but you could just go buy a blue shell on Etsy for like $10, and if you really want a blue shell. If you try to go on like something like Game Value Now, the worst place to look at prices in the world, they've got prices from like 2017. So please don't look there. I don't understand Game Value Now. I think they have prices set from before they were created.
Dude, I have no idea. I gave up on the sites. Like, I went to some Wii U games for Game Value Now before the show, and like a lot of the games just cut off in like the middle of 2021, and it's just like, just fuck this website. And now I can say fuck Go Collect, because technically they own Game Value Now. I don't know if they have anything to do with the development or if they put any money into the development, but God, it's a problem. You know what? eBay, fix it. Make your stupid collections for video games and start tracking prices. And I don't care how bad it is, it'll be better than it is now.
It'll be better than everything we're dealing with now, because right now this is the dumbest. Yeah. So, new prices as high as 16, completed prices as low as 1,200. Also, I think one sold for $2,900, they're saying. Anyways, these prices are all over the place. I think the interesting thing to look at here is, like, these are the grailiest grails. These are going to be the ones that people like, these aren't, they don't count for your collection. They'll be that, you can go get the regular versions. It's not going to be the same conversation as like on Super Nintendo. But there's two of them, and there's two Super Nintendo competition carts, and you could go get these, or you could go buy the Super Nintendo competition carts. Which is more interesting?
Well, one of them is complete in box, Johnny. So I'm gonna go. You got to go with the Wii U ones. I guess you could get Donkey Kong competition in the box, but that'll probably cost a lot more than these Wii U things.
Will it?
Johnny, I'm gonna go for the thing that is older and rarer, because that is probably the cooler thing to me, and that is why I can't fathom some of these prices. I mean, I generally think that the older things and the rarer things are cooler, Johnny. Regardless of the historical importance of Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, so it's very upsetting. I don't understand where a lot of these prices, like, I guess these are rare, but are they more rare than the competition carts? It's not exactly fair comparison, but if you're thinking like, oh, should I go spend like, $3,000 on Star Fox competition cart or Hyrule Warriors? I don't know.
So I think most people would be like, don't spend $3,000 on a video game. But
correct.
The one argument I could see is if you are the collector who has everything, it would have made sense to buy these big box games at any price, like at least like 3 or 4 years ago, probably. Not because of prices, because the boxes are so shitty, they are just not going to stand up to time. Like, if you want a Zelda Breath of the Wild Master Edition, I don't even know what those cost now, but the box is so shitty that the longer you wait, the harder it will be to find one in the condition you want at any price. And I don't think those are like incredibly rare or anything, but if you want that 9 out of 10 copy, there are people out there saving them, but the longer you wait, the more people are going to accidentally kick them as they're walking through their garage or wherever they're keeping those.
Yeah, because they're definitely in the garage, because where would you store that? It's gigantic.
Yeah, I've got it stored in front of a shelf on the floor, Johnny. I got nowhere to put it.
Okay, so let's talk about some other surprising games. Did we talk about Skylanders yet?
No, I want you to talk about the second most expensive, maybe third most expensive Wii U game, Johnny. You've probably told me about this. I've never heard of it, so I forgot it if I knew it existed at one point.
The third most expensive, like in real life, or the one that's selling.
Is it not Skylanders? Are you telling me this Skylanders is not the third most expensive Wii U game?
Oh no, it's the second most.
Oh, it costs more than Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Tell the people what the hell we're talking about.
Okay. So, if you were a baller Wii U collector, right? You're a big baller and you're like, I got them dollars and I'm buying Wii U games. I'm going to flex on y'all. Do you have Skylanders Trap Team, the Color Alive Pack, which I think was a Toys R Us exclusive.
Wow. And do you have that sealed?
Yeah. Do you have it sealed? You best, because that thing last sold for $2,400, an actual sold copy. It was listed at $3,000. They negotiated it down to $2,400. I cannot fathom that somebody walked into Target or into Toys R Us, in 2013 before they closed, and was just like, let me pick up this Trap Team, or 2014, whatever it was. Like, let me pick up Trap Team as Toys R Us is going out of business for $15. Oh, why does it have this Crayola sleeve on it? Who gives a shit? I'll just take this one. $15, and then turned it into $3,000.
So it's just a black and white cover on like the big box, and I guess it's
just
a
sleeve that goes right over the regular starter.
It's just
box.
A sleeve?
It's just a sleeve.
Oh my God. So it's more than the Super Monkey Ball stupid player's choice bullshit on GameCube?
Yep.
Oh my God. So
I have one of these. If you want to trade your Super Monkey Ball pack, I got you.
Just like, all right, there is a thing, like, 1, Toys R Us exclusive, 2, it's a Skylanders game, so it was given to children who are gonna not keep it in great condition. 3, it encourages you to draw on it.
Yes.
So I cannot imagine how few of them were to begin with and how many of them probably got thrown out. But still, there comes a point where the best thing to buy at some point just isn't Wii U games anymore.
Right, exactly. So, I want to just tell you, the last sale I heard about this before, this like $2,400 one was a $400 one from like 2020 though. This doesn't pop up very often. Like I'm 99% sure I have this, and that situation I described where I'm like, I need a Skylanders Trap Team, and I'm just walking into Toys R Us. That was a real life event for me. I was like, I guess I'll get this. I'm like, I can't remember if I got it or I was like, this is stupid and didn't buy it. Cannot remember.
Oh, tell for any of the younger listeners listening, tell them what Toys R Us is, Johnny.
Oh yeah, Toys R Us is a store that you can shop at exclusively in Canada that sells toys and video games.
Okay, great.
What it used to be though was a toy store where you could shop for toys and video games in America, and they had a catchy theme song, and for some reason their mascot was a giraffe. From bikes to trains and video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. Just saying.
Johnny, is this like, can we, if you're out there, if you're listening to the show, I'm not making fun of your purchase. I think you're the biggest baller in the world if you think a Skylanders sleeve is worth that much. Can you come on the show and tell us why? What are you, the world's biggest Wii U fan? Like, it could be that.
Maybe.
Or are you the world's biggest Skylander fan? Is it like the super niche? Is there like someone out there collecting Skylanders? Like, seriously?
Like maybe that's it. Skylanders has a bunch of weird niche stuff, right? And so imagine that the Wii U stuff was produced way less than all the other stuff, and they have like all these weird packs that like only come with certain figures at certain times. Like, maybe this is just one of those packs. I don't know. If
Skylanders was still going today, I could see it. I could be like, yeah, people want the early figures. Like, doesn't matter how common they are. Look at Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards sell for hundreds of dollars sometimes, and there's clearly like a million of base set out there. But this was such a... What was Skylanders around for, like 4 years? It happened, it died out, and then everybody stopped caring. It was just one of those short fads. It was Among Us on the Wii U. Like, no one... I can't imagine many people are around who still care. All I can think of is a garage sale where there's going to be tons of Skylanders and they want like 50 cents each for them or something.
Tyler, I've blown your mind with that Skylanders one, but do you want to hear some more stuff?
Keep blowing my mind, Johnny.
Okay.
You know, I was skeptical about the episode until that Skylanders for 2,400, and I'm like, maybe there's something to this surprising collectability of the Wii U.
You're like, all right, I see your point here. All right, Johnny, your episode isn't total dog shit. I'm buying in. Okay, so this is we've talked about these, I think, before. It's not like a secret, but not that many people seem to like register or know about this. Sorry if you guys are collecting hard at this, but there's 2 Lego games that are very expensive on the Wii U. And at any time, could go for any amount of money because they just don't show up. So
Okay.
if you look at...
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe one of them is Lego City Undercover.
Nope.
All right, never mind. I'm not even gonna guess. I already fucked up. What are they?
What's your second guess? You can have one more guess.
Well, I don't think it could be Lego Dimensions because even I bought that. I didn't buy that to collect that. I bought that to play it. Lego Jurassic World.
It is. Jurassic World is the number one.
Ooh.
Like that might be the hardest to find game I've seen on the Wii U, honestly. People talk about,
you think that's the hardest game to find? Oh, is that just any version or like a special version?
No, this is a special version. Yeah. It's a big box. It comes with a Dr. Wu figure, and it's only in this one big box. It was made for other systems. It was made for the PS3 and I believe the Xbox 360 also, but those are hard to find as well. And if you look for just Lego Jurassic World, just put it at the high prices, you won't even see any of these sold. It does exist. We can prove it exists, but you will not find it. And this was a Target exclusive. So unless you went into Target the first day, which I don't understand why it's so effing rare, because even if there was only one at every Target store, there's a Target in every city. How come this isn't available?
Because no one would think to save it. Because when people think of like, what's going to be the thing, Johnny? You're not going to think of a licensed movie Lego game. You would never, like, in a million years. And people go after Target exclusives. People like you, they'll show up and be like, oh, here's some Wii U double pack I've never seen that's a Target exclusive. Well, I guess I better pick this up just in case. And like, I get that. I mean, usually those do turn out to be interesting collectible things, but I would never in a million years think of a Lego Jurassic World. Even if I knew it was going to be rare in the future, I would just be like, yeah, but no one's going to pay anything for it because it's Lego Jurassic World. Meanwhile, if there was some kind of niche horror game that came out or something like that, people take another look and they're like, oh, maybe I'll save one of those.
The other thing is you're competing against Lego collectors who are also used to spending money. If you go ahead and you look, if you look online, you can find images, but just make sure you put in Lego Jurassic World, Wii U, and Target, and then you'll see it. It's not like, the box didn't need to be extra. It's extra wide for some reason, which is also a pain in the ass. It could have literally been just like a box big enough to fit the game case, because the little poly bag that Dr. Wu comes in is like a 2x2 inch square. It's smaller than a DVD case by a large margin. Like when you see regular Lego poly bags, a lot of times they're like kind of over large. This is like a mini poly bag. I don't even understand what's going on. It's small enough if you buy like any of the Lego collectible like minifigure lines, it's smaller than those blind bags. So I don't know why the box is extra large. It's stupid.
Was there actually another interesting Lego game that I have also forgot about? Marvel Superheroes, Johnny.
It is.
Oh, right.
With Iron Patriot, and that was a Walmart exclusive.
Whoa.
That one is more accessible. Right now, someone's got one listed for $2,500 or best offer.
Yeah, that sure sounds accessible to me. Are Lego collectors actually collecting this shit? I mean, when you get out of the core Lego sets, there must be so much just garbage that does not matter. Like, I'm just gonna say it, like maybe Lego Marvel Superheroes on the Nintendo Wii U, not something that I would pay $2,500 for. As a Lego collector who could, I don't know, maybe take the $2,500. I'm just off the top of my head, if I was a Lego collector, what might I want? I don't know, a Lego monorail set from like the 1980s. That's the fucking coolest thing in the world.
I mean, or any of these giant new sets that are super cool. Anything.
Yeah. There's ways to spend money on Lego, and it doesn't just... You could get something rare on Lego for that much, and it does not have to be this dumb bullshit.
I mean, here, like, think about this. You could go buy the Lego UCS Millennium Falcon and the AT-AT that just came out and have, like, $800 left over.
Well, I mean, to be fair, no one's bought this yet, but
I know privately of them selling for over $1,000.
So even crazier, I will say, Johnny, is there are some niche NES variants that I'm making this up. I will say equally rare, of comparable rarity and obscurity. And most of the people I know collecting for that are like hounding eBay, just waiting for someone to fuck up.
Yeah.
But for some reason, these big box Wii U games, people are like, oh, I've got the thing. It's $1,000. Whereas people are looking for like, the N7 Tecmo NBA basketball. That's Joseph Leo's like pet game, the pet variant that he loves because it's so rare. Like most people who have that have no idea what they have, and they would list it for like $35 complete in box. So what is this market of people paying thousands of dollars for just obscure bullshit on modern systems, especially the Wii U?
I think it's just modern collectors. They're coming in from other areas. I don't know. There's so much weird stuff going on. There's a lot of weird variants. So here, I'm going to sell you on kind of what are some of the interesting things on the Wii U. I mean, we just talked about a lot of it, but let me just go over some of the weirdness of the Wii U and why it's an interesting thing to collect. Because they have a bunch of these big box bundles, they have special editions, they have refurbs, they've got Wiimote packs, so they've got accessory packs, they've got just a pretty wide variety of games. It's not a system that is overly large, so the library is 163 to 165 games, depending on how you count it. Do you count Star Fox as 1 or 2 games? It comes in a bundle, but there's 2 games in there, and they are in separate cases. So it could mess up how you count. The other one is New Super Mario with Luigi or without Luigi. Do you count those as individual games or not? So, they've got amiibos. There was those big amiibo bundles, they had Captain Toad. They had the Mario 10. There was 3 different versions of those. They had some weird case color variations. When you started to get in the reprint of some of the games, they started to put them in these red cases for some reason.
That annoys me. It annoys me because it's not immediately clear what the best version is. Because if you looked at a copy of Mario Kart 8, you might think they put a red case on it to be like, hey, look, it's Mario Kart fucking 8. This is a game. You want this to stand out on your shelf because this is a first-party Nintendo game, Mario Kart 8. That is 100% what I would have thought. Nintendo's done that before with games. Literally, New Super Mario Bros. Wii comes in a red case because, hey, I'm so badass. I come in a red case. And then, did they ever reprint that in a white case, or am I just thinking of PAL versions? But still, why? Make it clear. Well, be this is the shitty version, so I don't have to think about it, Johnny.
Well, and they did that with the New Super Mario's with Luigi. They put it in a green case because to let you know it was a special version.
Well, that was the standalone New Super Luigi U came in a green case, and then the double pack still came in a blue case. But I think it also came in a red case.
Or a red case. It also came in a red case.
I need to get more of those, man. New Super Mario Brothers U, guys, on par with Super Mario World. That game is amazing.
Yeah. So the other thing it's got going for it is console variants. There's some cool, weird consoles. There's all these print run variants, right? So you have games that are first print and then clearly not the first print. So you've got this, for all these people who love the minutia of oh, this is the first print, this isn't. The Wii U offers a lot of that. This one has a store exclusive and this one doesn't. This one comes with bonus cash. There's so much of that kind of stuff that people like me are oh, this is an interesting thing you tried to do with it. There's a lot of that going on the Wii U. You have publisher changes, THQ was the original print for a bunch of games, and then it became Nordic. So you have Bayonetta. Here's the best exclusives I probably should have.
Yeah, I know. I noticed we missed it too.
I missed Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2, which is weird. You're well, Bayonetta 2 isn't really an exclusive. No, but this particular version is. It comes with Bayonetta 1.
Wait, no. Disc. Did Bayonetta 2? Well, it got re-released on Switch, I'm sure. Everything did. But Bayonetta 2 is a fucking Wii U exclusive. That's a Wii U game.
Yeah, Bayonetta 2, but the Bayonetta 2 came out on the Switch. But the only way to get Bayonetta 1 with physical on Nintendo is this version on the Wii U.
Yeah, but I mean Bayonetta 2, I'm saying, came out on Switch years later. And I mean, like, in these days, if a game comes out years later, you might as well consider the thing it came out for exclusive. Like, I think of Wii U and I think of Bayonetta 2. So if you were collecting, like, the 10 best Wii U games, I think Bayonetta 2 clearly has to be on there.
Probably. I mean, the other thing is they reprinted Bayonetta 2, right? Like we're talking there, there's like first print versus non-first print. The reprint does not include Bayonetta 1 disc.
Yes.
So you just get asked out. One of my favorite like weird variants also is there's this DuckTales remastered. So you get like that throwback to DuckTales on the Nintendo. You're like, oh man, DuckTales remastered. But this one has a pin inside. And that's like the first print. And usually you find them without it. So
talk about like the random shiny bullshit for collectors, Johnny.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Wii U is a goldmine for that. Like I said, console box exclusives. There's some like expensive ones, some rare ones, and they're like kind of flashy boxes, not like, not like what they've done with like the Switch or the Wii where they weren't very interesting, or Nintendo. Like all Nintendo special editions like before that were like really plain Jane. But Wii U, they like really stepped up their graphic design and like went for it on the boxes.
The last, I don't mean to put Wii U in a battle it cannot possibly win, but all the pros in terms of collectible interest you're giving for Wii U and its kind of mediocre library, I bet are tenfold for the Nintendo Switch.
Probably. Maybe. So the Nintendo Switch is. We'll have to talk about the Nintendo Switch on its own thing, because that system is a landmine. I don't know what's going on the Nintendo Switch. It's like, it's out of control. The Switch is out of control.
It's out of control, but I also think it's probably the best documented system that collectors have ever tried to keep up with as it comes out. Like,
I hope so.
Before there would be like the small, like hardcore group. I feel like there are multiple independent groups trying to keep track of every single collectible Switch thing that comes out, because they basically have to, because you're really going to try in 10 years to go back and piece together like all these little stupid limited print things that are going on. Like, no, you basically have to track it now or risk it being harder to figure out this stuff in the future.
Yeah. So with the Wii U, I went really hard at trying to track all of the like dumb variants. And I know I didn't get all of them, but I did an admirable job on like all the dumbass variants. It takes you from like 160 if you're just looking at basics up to, over 240. So I can pass out my list if you guys want to see, but there's a lot of dumb variants out there. Not to mention there's like, gotta love THQ, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag. There's 3 versions of that. You really need that GameStop version or the Walmart version or just the regular version. And then Splinter Cell, there's a Canadian special edition, which is a weird thing to say. And then there's like the regular version and then the GameStop version. The Nintendo Wii U is so weird. And that's not even talking about like, it's got like just some big boxes that people really do enjoy. It's got a bunch of Zelda games on it that people like. It's got, Twilight Princess with the Midna amiibo. It's like a nice box. People enjoy that. There's Wind Waker, the best version of Wind Waker. The only one I could actually make myself play through because it has the better sale. You can get here remastered, and you get if you buy the collector's edition box, you get a Ganondorf figure that wasn't an amiibo for some reason. Maybe that was pre-amiibos, but yeah, there's like a lot of weird collector stuff you can start doing on this system. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying like there's definitely a bunch of like niche collector itching that you could scratch with this system. And there's
given the prices, I don't see why you would on a lot of this.
I'm not advocating. I'm just saying.
Like what's like a Wind Waker remake go for?
Collector's edition or regular?
The one, whatever, it comes with an amiibo or something. What does it come with?
Hold on. I want to say it's kind of expensive.
Yeah, I would think so, which is crazy. So there's new copies for like $400.
Yep.
And all right, let's see what I'm not looking at solds. I'm doing the bad people thing of saying what unsold buy it nows are selling for.
Okay. Sold for $379, a new one, $268, $229, $216, $200 or best offer.
These aren't the worst. It looks like $200 new, maybe a little. Am I sorting by highest price? I'm an idiot. I have sorted by highest price because I was looking for something else.
Yeah, you have to go recent on this kind of stuff.
All right. I don't like. To me, I just look at it and I'm like, yep, it's the fucking remake. Like, who wants to collect the remake? But people like these Zelda remakes, I guess.
So it's an interesting conversation, right? So, and I've seen this divide starting to happen. Like, do you want to collect the original, or do you want to have, like, for players, or do you want to have the best possible version of the game?
Well, am I putting it on my shelf, or am I putting it into a console, Johnny? Because if I'm putting it on my shelf, I want the original fucking version.
I agree with you, but there are some people who collect both, because if demand is going to be such that people, like, who are playing want the most playable version, then that might see more demand. So
playing the original will never go out of style.
I mean, maybe it will. Final Fantasy 1 is, like, atrocious to play the original. Like, Dragon Warrior 1 on the Famicom is an atrocious, horrible, like, just what a tedious game that becomes. And I like it.
That's the only reason to play that is for the historical context. If you played the most up-to-date, great, modernized version of Dragon Warrior, it would just be a shitty modern game rather than, oh, I could see how every JRPG ever was built off this platform.
Well, we're talking the difference just between Dragon Warrior on the, let's say, Famicom to what it was on the Nintendo is a big shift.
Oh, really? Was that a big jump? I have no idea.
There was the same game. There was some shift just in, like, the UI, right? And then the shift from there to Game Boy Color was an additional shift. And then in Japan, they had the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 16-bit upgrade. So there was a big upgrade to the UI and also a graphics overhaul there. So we're not talking about playing it on the something as like the Switch, which you can buy a Dragon Warrior 1, 2, and 3 pack, or download them, from the online store, or get it from, one of these Japanese resellers, PlayAsia or whatever, where you can get an actual physical version of it. We're talking like within Nintendo, Famicom to Nintendo, and Famicom to, or Nintendo to Super Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo to Game Boy Color. There were jumps and regressions in some cases.
Sure. And I mean, me personally, I have obviously in like the past 3 years switched over to getting a lot more of this original print stuff and Japanese stuff just because it's the first stuff. And part of it is just because, hey, Johnny, I got a lot of games. I got a list of games that I want to play. And like, I've got all the games I want to play, because if I want to play a Nintendo game or Super Nintendo game, I'm either going to have a cart on the shelf or fire up an emulator. It's just no problem. So if I'm just buying stuff to put on my shelf, like, who cares how playable it is? Like, if it's Japanese, if it's a shitty Apple II version of a game that I'm never going to want to play, because I'm just buying it to put on my shelf. And that has been a big driver in being like, oh yeah, let's go get like the computer versions of all this shit. I'm never going to play any of this stuff.
Yeah. Look, collecting is different than playing. We agree there.
Yeah.
And in how you collect versus how you play. There are some people who will try to do both. I think it's safe to draw a line in the sand. Myself,
I mean, you don't have to draw a line. I mean, I obviously play a lot of my collection, and there's a lot of fun that comes in that, but I'm absolutely willing to collect stuff I will never play.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I drew that line in the sand a long time ago and said, I am more of a collector than a player, even though I play a good amount of video games when I can, and have played a lot of video games over my life. It's still like the line in the sand right now is, okay, I'm a collector. So when I buy a game, I'm okay if it's unplayable, like a Japanese Virtual Boy game or something. I'm okay spending some money on that. Like, right. How am I ever even going to play that?
Johnny, I think you talked about all this stuff that you're into. You love like retailer exclusives and weird big box stuff that no one has.
I do. I said, like, people like me, I'm the guy who documented all this stuff for the Wii U. Like, I'm the guy who went hard and have like a huge Wii U set because I'm a dummy. Like, why do I know about this Color Alive slipcase version, it's not because I went and watched some video. It's because I went into stupid Toys R Us and saw it myself when I was buying all this stuff.
Yeah, that thing's pretty dumb.
Like, why do I know about these Lego exclusives? Because I was hunting for them on day one. Like, I've been the guy preaching about these stupid Lego ones since they came out. Guys, you gotta look for these Lego. Like, they sell out really fast. Go look for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard you were definitely the only you must have brought this up 4 years ago on the show, because I'm pretty sure you're the only person I've ever heard talk about them, unless there's like one of these crazy completionists like VG Collectaholic who's like, check out the cool thing I got. No one else has it. Johnny knows what it is.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I'm into. Like, the Wii U was such a small set. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, let's power through the Wii U. The Switch, on the other hand, is just like, it's so big and it's basically omnipresent. It's everywhere. It's like, how could you ever collect for the Switch? You could, but like the idea of set collecting the Switch, whereas the idea of set collecting the Wii U as an interesting, fun experiment, I think you can do. I think you can look at the whole weird oddities of the Wii U and go, there are some expensive ones I could skip. Like, you skip the 3 that are like $2,000 plus, and you just like dig into the rest of it. You could make a really awesome, weird, overly complete Wii U set.
And even if you like, so I think most people who collect Wii U just skip all that. I certainly do. Wii U still currently super affordable if you were trying to collect something that people aren't looking at. There are the weird Game & Wario's of the world, but Super Mario 3D World is like $15. It's a fucking Nintendo Mario platformer, and it's $15. That will not stay that way forever, even if it never becomes like this weird Super Mario Sunshine, which has its days where it sells for $100. That game is never going to zero. One, it's on the Wii U, so tops there's like 6 million, and there's probably not even that many. So it's rarer than probably any other mainline Mario game, even if it's not rare at all. But Nintendo games they don't drop that much. This is on a console where other things have gone crazy. I'm surprised Mario 3D World is not, I don't know, something. Yeah. Like even what's another one? Mario Maker. What's Mario Maker go for?
Not that much, and it comes in like a big box.
Yeah, it comes in a cool big box. Like, I'm pretty sure those are still out there, like new. That
you can get a console version with an 8-bit Mario in it. Super cool console box.
Yeah. I think Mario Maker is maybe a little less interesting because they shut it off for no reason. It's kind of a dick move. I mean, Mario Maker 2 is awesome, so what are you going to do? But like, there's a lot of games when I just was like searching random games while we were talking, where it's just like, oh, I could still just go buy this for $10 brand new, like the mighty number 9s of the world and all that kind of junk. There's just a lot of... It's a DVD game, Johnny, so they made a lot of them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and the other like interesting thing that happened with the Wii U is it had a bunch of games that like, oh, these are the rare games, like, oh shit, like go buy them. These are the weird ones. You better go have your Hello Kitty Cruisers, because that's like $100 game. Dropped. It's like nothing now. I mean, it's not nothing, but like when it was like over $150, or the Crudes, or Funky Barn, and all these stupid games that used to be expensive.
Did you say Turbo Stunt Squad, Johnny?
I did not say Turbo, but Turbo was an expensive one, huh, guys? Yeah. Now all these games aren't that expensive, and you can go get them. Like, I think one of the weird ones that's still expensive, just because I think it was an end of life game, is Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Yeah. I think that's one of the most expensive Wii U games.
So if you tell me a Wii U game, and I don't know what Book of Unwritten Tales 2. If I had to guess, it's a let's say 2.5D kind of bad graphics ish platformer that's pretty easy. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I have like no idea what that game is, but I know what it is because when I was collecting Wii U, I went around to like all the GameStops in like my state and bought everything because their prices were like really low and they had no stock, so I had to drive around everywhere. And then I remember I had to like go and find online. It's like, oh, no one has Turbo Stunt Squad. No one has Crudes. No one has Book of Unwritten Tales 2. So that's all the stuff I had to go buy individually.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else? Like, we talked about Wii Party U, which is like kind of weirdly expensive. Like, there's some Zelda games on there that are a little expensive. You got a ton of Lego games. You can even get a Mass Effect for this system. It's Mass Effect 3, sorry. But at least it's not Not terrible.
Johnny, those multi-platform, like there are cool multi-platform games, but they're the Wii U version, so kind of who cares? Like even like I think Lego Dimensions is all right.
Yep.
Do I want the Wii U version? It's the version I have.
It's the version I have, and then upgraded to the PS 3 or 4 version. I can't. It's because it was so stupid.
Does that version use a different? Can I use my Wii U portal on the PS4?
I don't know.
So if I bought Lego Dimensions on PS4, I threw out the box. I'm like, fuck, I'm never collecting another Lego Dimensions.
I think you can because it's a USB, right? It's a USB.
Yeah, but I think like the Xbox one is its own thing because it has like the Xbox button. Maybe I don't know. I know they're not all 100% compatible with each other.
Yeah, I mean they. One day we'll talk about the surprising collectability of Lego Dimensions.
Is it so? Like you say, like Lego collectors go after this stupid video game stuff. Are there people collecting Lego Dimensions? I feel like
I don't know.
I've looked up new old stock like stuff. Like if I ever get back into Lego Dimensions one day, am I going to want to pick up like this Ghostbusters set? And I still see them for like $25 sitting around.
One, Lego always goes up in value eventually. It never goes down. And like people didn't like the game, like they had some problems with the game. I liked the game just fine. But Lego Dimensions, like just from a collectible standpoint, has a shit ton of awesome minifigures and mini builds. Like,
oh yeah,
just
the
awesome.
problem is I don't care about that. And like you specifically collect minifigs, and I just have a shelf of them. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these because if I throw them into a bin, I'm gonna have a bin of minifigures for the next 20 years, and then one day I'm just gonna get rid of them. And also, all the bases are gonna break off in the minifigures, and that'll be annoying.
Yeah. No, it's They're just awesome minifigs. Like, so I don't think even if it was a bad investment now, like it feels like it should right itself eventually. The big problem was a bunch of them went to the dollar store and like they went to like outlet stores and they were all being sold for like $1 or $2. I wish I would have bought a ton of them. I say that, but I kind of don't.
Oh yeah. I think I got some of my, my Lego Dimensions from, like Five Below.
Yeah. So like because they were so cheap because Lego Dimensions was so expensive.
I mean, some like there were definitely like the expensive ones. Like I think I paid a little bit for like the Simpsons one, and then there were like ones that were like, oh shit, we made too many of these, which is strange for like a Lego product to be like that much on sale below MSRP.
Yeah, Lego does not really do sales, so that's why. Well, that's why it was astounding. That's what I'm saying. Lego always rebounds, and a lot of these minifigures are just exclusives. So you're never going to find them anywhere else. So yeah, they're awesome.
Johnny, I don't know. I've been trying to get to this for like a half hour now. We like have not talked about. We talked about all the things you think are cool. We have not talked about the things that I think are cool.
Well, we just talked about how you like all the cheap games that are still available.
I mean, I don't really like I don't want a brand new copy of Just Dance 18 or
no,
Jeopardy.
You said like Super Mario Maker and
I mean, yeah, like yes, sure. That's a cool thing. I don't think it's going to be amazingly collectible, but I think if you ever are going to want every 3D Mario game, like go get your 3D Super Mario 3D World. What are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, tell me the thing that you like. Like also remember there's like Mario ancillary characters on here, Woolly World. That's the start of that franchise. You got Splatoon, a major franchise now started here. There's some stuff to look out for on the Wii U.
Yeah. I think like the franchise starty stuff, like I don't know. I look at like Pokken Tournament. It's just so common. Like I was wondering, like once like people started buying like modern games on Heritage auctions, like are people going to go after the Amiibo card Pokken Tournaments? But it just seems like there's too many of them. And we've said that about games before in the past that had seemingly endless supply, and then they're gone all of a sudden. But I don't know. So you guys know,
there is on the Pokken Tournament. The first print has the Dark Mew Amiibo card in it. The second print does not reference it or include it.
Johnny, we're in full disclosure here. We are in your spreadsheet, which has all these little categories of variants and collector's editions and bundles and amiibos and Wii remotes. And you skipped over the Nintendo Online Store refurbished product things, which I think are the coolest because it's a bunch of the best games in the system.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that these were available for collectors, like if you're into that kind of stuff. They're a little hard to find. I don't know if this is a complete list, but this is at the time when Wii U was still an active system. This is what I found to exist. There's Mario Kart 8, New Super Mario Brothers, New Super Mario Brothers with New Super Luigi, Nintendo Land, Super Mario World 3D, and Wii Fit U. And there's also a console that has a refurb on it as well. I think maybe one or two consoles.
I think there's multiple consoles with this on it.
Yeah. Which is like a weird thing to see consoles with. There's the Wii 32 gig deluxe bundle with Nintendo Land. There's the deluxe white console version. And I think maybe those are it. There might have been on other ones, but I can't confirm. And I didn't look that hard.
What these are, you bought them on the Nintendo store, store.nintendo.com. And it would be like, here's a refurbished copy of New Super Mario Brothers U. And I look at this listing, I'm like, where did Nintendo get like hundreds of refurbished copies of New Super Mario Bros. U? What a weird thing. But it has a unique case insert that has a big, ugly red bar over it. Like right in the middle of the case. It's not
right,
like a player's
ugly.
choice. It's just like, bam, refurbished product, you fucking poor.
Yep.
And I flip-flopped on them because these, like, there were some, like, I think, like, Super Mario Galaxy 2, I think, was available well after that game was a thing on store.nintendo.com. And I look at it and I'm like, it seems like something that might not be that easy to find later on. But the prices, it's like Nintendo, so they want like $30 for it or something. So I look at it, I'm like, I'm not, I convinced myself that it's just like player's choice. And it's not. I think that they are. Now that I have bought none of them, I don't think I have a single one of these. I think they're pretty cool. And there's multiple. And so there's one that have this big red bar printed on the insert, and there are other versions that have a sticker instead. So keep an eye out for those sticker variants, Johnny. I did a search for Wii U refurbished, and I found 0 of them on eBay. I imagine most people don't specifically list the variant. But I found one New Super Mario Brothers U in completed listings that sold for $52.
Also, Nintendo still sells refurbished stuff.
Oh, what do they got right now?
They have like a couple of different versions of the Switch, AC adapters. They've got docks. Like they don't have the Animal Crossing dock available, but it's in the store. It's sold out right now, but it's like listed at like $40. They've got some Switch lights.
So they've had this refurbished junk
for a long time.
Yeah, but the hardware they've had, but they have any software right now?
No software right now.
Oh wait, I just went to Switch refurbished. Okay, I'm here looking at all this stuff. Maybe they haven't done this series for the Wii U. Maybe they never will.
Maybe they'll never do the Switch.
That's what I meant. The Switch.
Yep.
Switch Wii U. What's the difference, Johnny?
Practically nothing because all those games came out on the Switch eventually.
Johnny, there's 3 more games so you want to collect the Wii U, guys? 3 more games. What was the last game that came out? The GTA thing.
That was
scrolling. Shakedown Hawaii.
Shakedown Hawaii.
Basically a limited print game that came out for no reason. One of the most fascinatingly late releases of all time. It might have been like almost 2 full years since a game had come out on Wii U. And that game was Axiom Verge, already a game that came out way too late. But then out of nowhere, Shakedown Hawaii comes out by one of these limited print companies, I think. Or maybe it was just the publisher.
By the same people who do all the other Shakedown games. So.
Okay, yeah. And what, they make like 3,000 copies or something? Maybe something only 3,000 of the variant art?
The weird thing, did they make 2 different versions? Because there was like a collector's edition.
Oh, it was such a scam. Oh my God. I honestly
that's right. There was a collector's edition and a regular. And then there was a Wii version for some reason, but that was only a PAL exclusive. Like what?
It's just so weird.
I was so happy I didn't have to buy that one. I was like, thank you for making it PAL only.
I forgot what it was. I think it was... This is off memory. I think it was $60 for the regular version of Shakedown Hawaii, and you could pay like $65 or $70 and get an exclusive insert. And the whole idea was like, hey, idiot, you're going to pay $120 for Shakedown Hawaii on the Wii U? There's a version of me that would have done that, but because it was so blatantly like, hey, idiot, we're going to get you to buy 2 copies of the same version, the same game for the fucking Wii U. I I just did not
Did
buy it. I
they-
bought my regular edition. I didn't even give them the extra $5.
Did they do that? Didn't they include the other insert?
I don't think they did. I'm almost positive. Maybe was it like reversible? No, because they upcharged for the insert. I remember.
Yeah. Maybe I'm misremembering.
No, I want to. Let's tell this story. Okay, no, it wasn't that bad. Okay, there was a standard edition for $25 and a special edition, which has the special edition insert for $30. You know what? What is it? $55 for both? I'm still not getting scammed. I still only bought the $25 edition. I'm sure, like, financially, whatever, that's not the right thing to do. But if I had both, like, I'd never sell them. So who fucking cares? I only care about having the one. I don't need a special edition insert. Oh my God, are there a lot of them on the eBay?
Well, like, because who bought it? Like, who bought it for the system that didn't do well to begin with?
It's fun. It's about equal, actually, of the special edition versus the regular on eBay.
Yeah, I want to say that, like, I thought I rationalized it by being like, oh, they included the cover, but maybe they didn't. Now I have to, like, go watch an unboxing video because I don't
do that. Oh no, Wikipedia list includes fucking digital games. I want to just give context to how late this game came out.
I want to say this came out in like 2020.
Yeah, so it came out in August 2020, but when did Axiom Verge actually ship from Limited Run Games? I think it was like early 2019, maybe 2018.
Maybe. The interesting thing is the Wii U is like the only system, like, of recent memory that didn't get, like, well, not only system, but like the PS4, which I have a relationship with, and Nintendo I have a relationship with, but we didn't see a bunch of Wii U releases, you know, so that was cool. I'm glad we don't, like, please, Limited Run, don't be like, you know what, we should put out.
I don't think Nintendo would let them. They'd probably be like, get off our dead console. What are you doing? Yeah, so, I mean, John, it's just so cool that it's so late. It's so stupid, Johnny. It's just so stupid.
It's a weird thing. We don't need to keep covering this up.
I know. Other thing, just the Breath of the Wild misprint. It's all right. It's all right. I think
tell the people what it is.
There's all right. So the first release of Breath of the Wild, which, to be clear, is the one literally everybody bought because everyone bought this at launch except for Johnny, apparently. The first print of Breath of the Wild on the Wii U has 7 controllers on the back. It includes Wii controller icons, as opposed to the corrected version, which only includes Wii U controller icons, because Breath of the Wild doesn't support Wii controllers. This is something that a lot more people have been noting on eBay, like in their listings, like error print, first print, this is the rare special edition. But they're not that expensive. They're still like less than MSRP, which would be like less than $50, I think. I don't. It's probably not the rarest thing in the world. It's all right. It's a Zelda variant. Go get Zelda variants. Breath of the Wild is one of the best games ever made. Even if it's the Wii U version, I think this will be cool to have in the future. And even like the sealed ones, like there's this Heritage Auctions crowd that has tried to pump them, but looking at eBay, there's a lot of them. So it seems like the supply is coming to market and there isn't enough people to gobble them up. Let me go to the old Heritage Auctions, Johnny.
Okay, do it.
You cannot put a price on things. So all of these sold at the end of last year. The Breath of the Wild Wii U's, all of them from like 9.4 to 9.8 condition. $450, $500, $840, $2,640. So the price is throw a dart at a board and guess.
Good.
But this is the only other Wii U games that have ever been on like the Heritage Auction scene have been like Batman Arkham Origins, which sold for $450. Apparently a new Super Mario Brothers U. Is it a first print? No, it's not. Sold for $432. I don't know. It's pretty obvious what the Heritage Auctions crowd cares about on the Wii U. It's the comic games and the Nintendo games. But anyway, that's just the other thing I think is kind of neat. I bet you could find a quote from me calling that stupid bullshit. But now that more people know about it, and it's like in eBay titles, and people aren't like gouging like $150 for them. Like now, I feel comfortable saying like, yeah, go get your first print Breath of the Wild for $40 or something.
All right. You want any other stuff on the Wii U? Or are we good?
I don't. Why are we talking about the Wii U?
Because there's some surprising
this episode
stuff.
would not, Johnny. I'm dead serious. This episode would not have happened if you didn't show me that fucking $2,400 Skylanders thing.
It was very surprising. So that's it. That's it for the Wii U talk. Thanks for hanging out for that. Let's move on to the other part of the show.
Oh my God. Are you talking about the collector's questions?
Yes,
that I have
am.
ready for you in just a second.
You're like, okay. By the way, just that Shakedown Hawaii also came out on the Switch. So Switch, Wii, and Wii U.
No one cares about the Switch version. Come on. The funny thing is, so it came out on the Wii. Is it the last Wii game? Or is Just Dance the last Wii game?
Well, it came out on the Wii, but it came out only PAL, so it's probably the last PAL.
Oh, fuck it. Never mind. I forgot that it's PAL.
Was
there like some licensing problem? They were like, no, we're not going to license another Wii game. But we have this contract in Europe.
Yeah, I do not know. Also, guys, don't look for like Wii U videos on YouTube right now. All the pricing is like really bad. They just use price charting, and they like don't acknowledge the like COVID spike. They're like, look at these trends on prices. It went up 3,000% from, I guess it started to take off in, it looks like 2020, the middle of 2020, and then keeps going up from then. Like, oh, did something happen? There's literally a video of a guy going through all prices for like 5 games, and he does not recognize the pattern. He's like, oh, and I see that in like March, it has a big spike. And I've been collecting for a long time, so I know that this means that this game is it's super rare and valuable.
Guys, if you are going to conventions, like, I don't know how many conventions are happening. I imagine some are still, because whatever. But, it's good. So the world's going to open up this year, next year, whenever it opens up. There are so many sellers use goddamn price charting, and I think you might be able to take advantage of the people who are just like, oh, look, there's a spike in March because there was one sale and like an algorithm overcorrected. Like, are people ever going to stop trusting these price tracking websites when the prices are so clearly off?
I don't know.
Like the last thing I went to was that limited run block party thing. That was, God, it feels like ages ago. I could not believe every single price that someone looked up was just from price charting. And then they gave me a discount off it. It was already ridiculously too low. So
there's going to be like a big show here, I think in February or March or something. And that Stefan, I believe, is a part of. And I am just... I just don't know if I'm going to that.
Bruce Dickinson is doing his spoken word tour next week in Raleigh, but I'm sadly not going to it, Johnny.
Sorry to hear that.
So, you said don't look on YouTube for Wii U videos. I have a project that I have postponed now for like 5 years. I'm just never going to do it. I don't know if someone has done this work already. The Wii U is a modern enough console that you could go on YouTube and find an unboxing video day one of literally probably, maybe not every single game, probably 80% of the games at least. You could maybe find someone who bought Hello Kitty Cruisers and posted a video with like their flip phone, it looks like, but you'd be able to make out what kind of manual it came with. So a lot of Wii U games didn't come with manuals, and then there are variants of the stupid little like single page manual that they come with. I don't know if there's like a perfect guide to what came with everything. Does that exist already?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your spreadsheet and you don't even have noted what doesn't have a manual. So
nope.
If someone just make a complete in-box content list for the Wii U, God, there's less than 150 games. There's less than 175 games. And a lot of games don't even have manuals, and there's only like a few of those single page variants. Just someone get that all together so we can figure out that all our stuff is 100%
I was
correct.
going to start listing all the games that didn't have manuals, but then a bunch of mine were sealed, and I was like, I'll never get this right. So,
but you can't just list no manual, because aren't there games that don't even come with that single sheet, or am I crazy?
I'm sure there are multiple variants of incarnations.
Like I think the DuckTales, the one that comes with the pen, it comes with like a color sheet that has like more colors than the other sheets.
Oh, I can tell you on that one. I'll look at my copy and let you know.
Johnny, collector's questions. Are we done with the Wii U? Is anyone listening to this episode? If you're skipping episodes, people are like, yeah, I could skip this one. I think I'm good.
All right. Got a question?
Let's see. A Tiger Wolf asks, have you been listening to ASMR podcasts, Tyler? I don't know what you're talking about. Am I in the wrong? No. What are people talking about? Man.
It's probably a throwback to an episode we did 2 months ago.
More like 4 months ago. Do you guys ever get hyper fixated on a specific category of collecting, be it console, type game, set, etc., for a period of time, and find it harder to collect your other goals when that happens? Or are you good at keeping all of your priorities straight at any given time? Asks Strange.
No, obviously I'm a super obsessive weirdo. So if I get hooked on a thing, then that's the thing I'm doing. You're like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go collect Harry Potter books for my wife. See you in 3 months when my money recovers.
Yeah. Like my main system now is I have all these save searches. Like I've probably got, let's look here. Eyeballing it, 200 save searches that I check multiple times a day. So that covers all of my interests. So obviously if I see something there that's on my like gotta have it list, I'm not going to be super fixated. But there are times when I learn about some variant that I've never seen before that I get the fever in me, Johnny. If like it's not on eBay, it like does not exist, but I need to have it. Like all of a sudden I get in my brain, oh my God, every game collector on earth knows about it, wants it, and I'm never going to get one. When it'll be like a variant of like fucking Myst or something that no one fucking cares about. But I'll just be like, oh my God, I gotta get this before everyone else figures out that it exists. When I have lived my entire 32-year life completely oblivious of this thing and have been totally happy and no one cares about it. But then I will start like checking that search like 12 times a day.
Absolutely. Same, same
so I get fixated in that sense, but
I get fixated on that. And then when I find out if something's new and interesting, or like if my brain just kind of shifts, like, so when I decided I was going to buy that Castle Grayskull, I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy it. So a normal person would just go look and be like, all right, Castle Grayskulls, these are like a pretty good price. All right, bought my Castle Grayskull and move on. What did I do? I made a bunch of lists of He-Man figures, not just of the original ones, but I'm like, well, I should know what the original ones are, what the re-releases were in like 2000. They did the special edition. I should know, I have some idea, but I want to know about the 2000 X line, plus all the Masters of the Universe classics, which gets muddled in a bunch of different ways. So I just made these giant lists and then like need to understand the pricing. Like I needed to understand how to collect all of Masters of the Universe in all of its incarnations to buy fucking Castle Grayskull from the original. It was like ridiculous, but my brain just was like, this is a thing we need to know about right now. I just want to know about this. And that happens to me all the time. Like I'll just fixate. And that's why I get like on a series of games and you'll see like 20 stupid games. They're like, oh, okay. That's why I have a Wii U list with a bunch of like dumb variants. Yeah. All the time. That's my whole life. Is just getting hyper fixated. Yes, I'm like pretty good at like kind of maintaining my goals, but I go like off the rails. Right now, I'm just on like getting all of my Stephen King first prints. I haven't even really bought games. I haven't bought any Stephen King stuff yet because I'm not ready because I haven't done enough research, which is ridiculous.
Johnny, what do you guys think about all these newfangled console mods? Some of them are fairly minimal, but others involve cutting system plastic, replacing components, bypassing components, etc. Do you think consoles should remain unmodded except for repair work to keep them functioning, i.e. recapping? Or do you think it's okay to do these modifications? To fill in anyone who is not filled in, also I would consider myself not filled in, but there are things like optical disc drive emulators for maybe the PlayStation, but I know definitely Sega Saturn. that you could basically just like replace the disc drive in your Sega Saturn with an SD card. I assume these are the kind of things that he's talking about.
Oh, and like RGB upgrades and stuff, like where you got to cut, or like HDMI mods to old systems.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I think, yeah, just do whatever the fuck you want to a console. There's so many consoles. I think emulation sates so many people, and there are so many consoles, and they just aren't as throw-outable as media. I think it's something that people either keep around in an attic or give to Goodwill. I think they just don't disappear as much. I mean, obviously, tons of them have disappeared, but like NES.
Well,
how many NESs are there? How many people do you know who have like resold video games over the years who have stacks of like 40 NESs? They're just like, oh yeah, those are the consoles I never got around to. Like, if someone wants to fuck it up and they want to fuck it up to make it better, like, knock yourself. There's almost nothing that I would say is too rare. Like, I don't know, like a Nintendo TV game that's like from 1977, Nintendo's first console, technically. Like, I wouldn't fuck one of those up because all of its value comes from its collectability. So if you mod it to be RGB, like, how is the world benefiting from this? Like, but even that, like, it's not that rare. Like, you could really just get a junker and do it. So, yeah, I'm pro console mods.
Yeah, I'm fine with console mods. Like, you know, I wouldn't take out like a system I bought just for collectability. Like, I wouldn't take out my gold, like Toys R Us exclusive N64 and like mod that. Oh. You know, I wouldn't do it to that, but I would grab any old basic N64 and just be like, yeah, sure, cut it up. Put a clear case on it. I don't give a shit.
I actually, so my Nintendo 64, I have, what is it? I got a Fantastic Grape. Is it Midnight Blue? No, it's Grape, right?
It's Grape.
I've got a Grape one, but I modded the PCB from a different N64 and stuck it in my Grape console. Not for any, like, to keep it pure reasons, just because the other one had, like, an easier motherboard to mod.
Oh. Yeah, I think we agree. We don't really care. There's like, there's a few instances where maybe you should just find the more basic version and mod it, but other than that, like, mostly,
I mean, don't mod an Apple One computer that's worth like $1 million, but other than that, whatever. Let's do another one, Johnny. What is the best in the wild score you've had in the past 5 years? In the wild meaning something at a shop, flea market, or eBay, or whatever, just not a sick deal from a friend.
In 5 years? 5 years is a long time.
And by best, I mean something super rare or valuable for a really good price. So I guess he's clarifying we can't just pick something that we like. All right, you go first, Johnny. I'm going to go through my Instagram because I bet I posted my best deal on Instagram.
Well, I have to think, like, my best deal, like, what would my best deal be? Like, I mean, I find some stuff out in the wild sometimes, but I don't really hunt in the wild. That's like...
Well, so he counted eBay. He just didn't want to do, like, bro deals. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting a lot of bro deals here, guys. I buy, like, 75% of my collection just straight off eBay.
Yeah, likewise. I even with that, like, I don't know. 5 years.
You know, I could probably
like 5 years. Is, I mean, like
if you put it down to dollars, like probably like my sealed Super Mario 64, maybe. I don't know what it's worth, but I spent $900 and it's probably worth at least $10,000, maybe.
Yeah, the $40 I spent on Devil's Third.
Yeah.
And that's probably older than 5 years now. Man, I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer for that question. Like, the last thing I can really think of where I felt like this is a dumb, ridiculous deal I'm getting. And I'm sure there's others. I'm just not remembering. It's been a rough week for me, guys. I've been kind of sick. I think it was when I went to Portland. Like, I always get some dumb deal at Portland. And like, you say, that's a bro deal. Like, maybe it is, but I have relationships with people, so I get deals sometimes. But I bought so many Wii games. I packed boxes of Wii games and had to like pay to like ship them as extra baggage on my plane home because I bought that many Wii games. That was like, and I did not spend that much money. It was like couple $100, and I sent home like 400 Wii games or something, or 300 Wii games.
That's dumb.
It
But
was
I guess
fun.
I'm proud of you, Johnny.
Yeah.
One of the ones I remember being super excited for, just in a pure price sense, was New Leaf. Just because I got that during the pandemic and everything was up across the board, and like literally the only thing that has ever gone down are freaking Blockbuster New Leaf carts of all things. Like they've been obscured out of existence. That is how much no one wants your weird rare Sega Genesis cartridges now. I spent like $330 for my New Leaf, I think, which I don't know. I would have thought that was a screaming deal like 2 or 3 years before I bought it. And now I don't even know. Does anyone care? Maybe no one cares about that anymore.
No one cares, but
I don't.
That's a hell
whatever.
of a deal.
I think it's the coolest shit.
Yeah, look, I paid more than that for mine
you literally bought it at the top of the market. Like we jokingly say everything goes up forever, which it does. But if there was ever a thing that you bought at the top of the market, it seems like New Leaf.
Which I don't even know how, because like no one cared. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, just to explain to the half of our listeners who don't even know what this cartridge is, it was a flash cartridge sold by Blockbuster. So instead of renting you a physical game, they would just flash the game to a flash cartridge and give you that. And so these New Leaf cartridges were only tested in like Columbia, South Carolina, but there's like a bunch of them out there. There's like there was one like box of like a dozen of them that was posted a few years ago. But like I think 4 stores had these New Leaf cartridges, so they're super, super rare. And then the what was the other thing called? The other Blockbuster
Game
thing.
Factory.
Yeah, so after the New Leaf, what Blockbuster did is they did a different flash cart program that had a wider release called Game Factory, which are also pretty rare.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different cartridge sizes for the Game Factory cartridges.
2. Oh, sizes? I don't know. There's 2 different colors.
There's a red one.
There's not a red one. I've never seen a picture of the red one. Show me a picture of the red one.
So this, am I like making this up in my brain?
I think that's like listed on one thing, but I've never seen a red one. Someone come and show me a red one.
Rich Lecce has a red one.
Maybe he does, but typically what you'll see is a blue and a green one. I have never, ever seen a red one.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, New Leaf kind of fits into that set, but I guess people just don't care. Like, I bet people still buy the Game Factory carts, right?
Oh, yeah. They've actually got... They used to just be like $50 all day long, and then all of a sudden... they weren't. They're like $25 to like $50, and then they went up in value a bunch.
There's one with no label. It's $2 right now, no reserve. So that ends in 4 days. Good luck getting me to edit in time for you to bid on that, everybody.
Yeah. Whew.
What's this? Whoa, Johnny! I just looked for Blockbuster Genesis. I'm getting off topic here. What is the Blockbuster World Video Game Championship 2 card pack? What are the Blockbuster Power Blast cards, Johnny? What is this?
I told you about these. Were like cards that they promoted with that Blockbuster.
Are they cool? All right. Well, there's $70 for a sealed pack of those. If you don't have one, go get it and put it with your cartridge. Come on, $70. The seller also looks like he sold a sealed 40-year-old virgin VHS and then backed out of the deal.
Well, you know, VHS is the hottest property in the world, so.
I love it. Johnny, you want to do another one? Or are we done? Do we say our best stuff?
Do one more.
Tiger Wolf asks, what are some games you love that are not collectible at all? The anti-collector's quest. Probably should have read these in advance and prepared. So I will cut out us thinking about this, Johnny.
Yeah, well, that's hard because once upon a time my like shtick was like always buy your favorite games, but now the market shifted and everybody was like, yeah, you should buy Marios and Zeldas. Yeah. That used to be like my take the whole time. I'm like, buy Final Fantasy. Like, I don't give a shit about stadium events. Where's your Final Fantasy? Where's your Mario? Where's your Castlevanias? And now it's like, that would be like, that used to be the anti-collector's quest thing.
Mass Effect 2, I've got a great one. Mass Effect 2, Johnny, 10 out of 10 game, completely worthless on consoles. and they overproduced the special editions. So you can just you can go on eBay and get like a special edition PC Mass Effect 2 for like $20 sealed.
Great game. It's a great game.
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Uncharted. Basically, take everything I was saying about your favorite games and apply it to the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
Yeah.
We just did an episode. I think we did a whole episode that addresses that very idea.
Yeah. So go listen to that, Tiger Wolf. Why are you asking this shit? Also,
we asked it before we did that episode. So
I'm just gonna let's put the Patreon shout out here. If you want to give us money, and you really don't have to and shouldn't, you can go do that on patreon.com/collectorsquest and ask us more questions that we will answer on the show. And I'm saying that because, Johnny, we've come to the end of our questions. So if you're a patron, we have one more, but whatever, that's basically the end. If you're a patron, go on Discord and ask us some questions for the show and make them thoughtful and good ones.
You can join for
who's on the Mount Rushmore video game collectors who we can totally talk about that for 45 minutes unprepared.
Let's fight about that some more. Or you want to fight about that some more? But before we go, on Patreon, you can join for as little as $2 or as much as $6. But the sweet spot is the $4. You get access to the Discord and the bonus content. At every level, you get access to the Discord, which I think is the best feature, which is a lot cheaper than a lot of other Patreons, like Get the Greg Games or whatever.
I'm cutting that out. What are you talking about?
Why?
That guy wants to do this as a job. We're just some guys who have a podcast.
Look, man, you ask for $50 on one of your tiers? Man.
Was it 50? Oh my God, it was 10, 25, and 50. Hey, you get an hour-long phone call. I mean, hey, time ain't cheap, Johnny.
Hey, patrons, you want to talk to me? I'll call you on the phone. Let's chat.
Dude, if you want to talk about video games, let's talk about fucking video games. I love talking about video games. It's like, you might say it's all I do, Johnny, is talk about video games.
You might say I made a podcast for that very reason, Tyler. I mean, if you want to talk about your feelings or if you need some life advice, maybe that's a little different, but I'll still talk to you on the phone. Hit me up. We can set up a video call if you need to or whatever. Let's talk. Well, I'll even FaceTime with you. No big upcharge for that. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. All right. So I still got to cut that because you're too mean.
I wasn't mean. That's just a lot of money to ask for people a month.
Prices
$50 a month. Are you kidding me? Do you know what I get for $50 a month? That's not even some people's used game budget. Well, it's got to be now because every game is $50. But seriously,
I went to Metal Jesus. I checked his Patreon. It's $2, $5, and $10. So
yeah, say
$50 is pretty high.
Yeah,
but you get a phone call, Johnny. Metal Jesus can't get on the phone with his 600,000 patrons.
Well, Get the Greg Games is also buying into that, in the investor stuff. So those guys are bigger whales. So if he gets just a couple of those,
yeah, you're right.
So
now maybe that's the goal. There's also the thing where if you set a price higher, then people will think something is more valuable.
Yeah.
The limited run games model of pricing things, you might say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a classic strategy. And we price ours this way because I wanted to just make it pretty accessible for people if you wanted to support us very lightly, or if you didn't at all, it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, let's pretend we didn't just have a conversation about how we fucked up and should have made it $3 and $5 to make it simple.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I would have done. That was a hindsight. After looking back at I wish I would have just done $3 and $5. It would have made everything easier for you and for me. But now I fucked up. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So join our Patreon or don't. We love you anyway. Get the Greg Games on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. Check out his content. I watch his live streams. I watch all his videos. I think he makes great content. His Patreon, he gets one more patron. I'm pretty sure his Patreon is going to surpass the entire sum of the Collector's Quest Patreon. So clearly he's making valuable content for the community. Also, I realized how many, and I told you about this, but I was just thinking of all the YouTube channels that I subscribe to and all the podcasts I listen to that fucking no one watches. Even I will say big air quotes popular show within a certain circle, like the Video Game Collectors podcast that Josh Byerly does. Like, you could look at those YouTube videos and some of them have like 17 views, and it'll be like an hour and a half long video podcast. Or maybe that was early on, and they've got like 150 now with like multiple camera angles, and he's like showing stuff off. And like, it's not a well-produced podcast at all. It just like, technically there's no editing, there's no nothing, but there's effort that goes into it, and there's a lot of information there, and fucking no one watches it, but he just does it to contribute to the community, to put out the information, all that stuff he does. And like, I was thinking about like, just like how many patrons we have, and like how we have like a couple thousand people listen to us, and how we're never going to be Metal Jesus Johnny. And like, already I think like I could, we have a few thousand people that listen to us, which is already like, damn, there's a lot of people that listen to us. But like, if there were like 100 people that listen to Collector's Quest Johnny, I would still be perfectly happy to just sit here and talk to you about video games, because I realize that if we didn't have a lot of people listening to us, that doesn't mean that people don't like our show. It means that the people who still listen to Collector's Quest, if there were only 100 people who listen to it, are just like the fucking diehard fans. And I still think that's super cool.
At like throwing ourselves out there. And when I like got back into doing this, it wasn't like, man, I hope to one day make this a job or a career. I was just like, I just want to talk about video games. No one's willing to talk to me about this. And forums are like too hard to get like the dialogue I want. So I'll just do a podcast, and if no one listens, fine. But I'm gonna do it, and hopefully some people like it, and we'll find an audience. And hey, we did, so awesome.
I hate that we are barely on Google. If you look for game collecting podcasts, Dan Allegra does the video game collecting podcast. He's on Google like 3 times. Maybe 4 times, and then we're the last result. I realize everyone's Google results are different, but incognito, we are the last result on the domain up.audio. Whatever the fuck that is.
we don't have a good, what is it, SOI?
Oh, SEO? Search engine
SEO,
optimization?
Yeah. Yes, we don't have that. We don't have, like, we could be doing a lot more, and like maybe we should, but I'm happy with the amount of people we have, and I like our audience, so it's like nothing I've ever pushed. Again, because I wasn't seeking to make this like some big thing. I just wanted to talk about video games. And if some people were into it, then awesome. Like, I tried to promote it more in the beginning because I was like, I'm doing this thing. It would be nice if anyone listened to it. But now that people listen to it, it's like, all right, cool. We got like, these are my friends. So it's like when people said, oh, these are your fans. And I was like, oh, they're not like my fans. This is just like the cool people I hang out and talk to video games at.
It's great. What a life we lead. Lots of editing. It's almost like you could say it's like 2 to 3 solid days of work a year, Johnny.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyler. You get the worst part of it.
Well, let's move on, Johnny. What are we buying? Right. What are we playing? The most exciting part of the show. Man, when people talk about boring. Like what stuff they're buying on podcasts, I just want to know what's the good stuff.
I'm the worst this week, so you go first.
God damn it!
I have such bad answers.
I've been posting like everything I've been buying on the old
and
Instagram.
You've been buying some good stuff.
Oh man, I've been buying some good stuff. I didn't talk about Dragon and Princess or the Dragon and Princess, depending on how it's interpreted, on the PC 8801, Johnny, did I?
I think you did.
Are you serious? I actually talked about this?
I want to say yes.
Oh, all right. Well, then I don't. Let's go. All right, Maniac Mansion, Johnny. I got the first print of Maniac Mansion.
Oh, yeah. I'm super jealous of that.
I got the Commodore 64 version. It also had, it came out simultaneously on the Apple II. And as much as I love the Apple II, I just associate Commodore and Maniac Mansion a lot more. I think that's the much more popular version. Has the more classic art style, I think. The interesting thing about the first release of Maniac Mansion, which, by the way, if you look at the front, it's the one that has like the entire box is covered by art rather than in that stupid, ugly, like turquoise frame. I hate the other box art for Maniac Mansion.
Hate it.
The original looks super good though.
Yeah.
The back of the box says Lust. So it says a story of love, lust, power, greed, wealth, and all these like funny, over dramatic things. And someone at Toys R Us, like there was a Karen at Toys R Us who picked up the box, looked at it, clearly didn't want to buy the game, noticed the word lust, and made a complaint to Toys R Us that having a product with the word lust was not appropriate. So they got it pulled from Toys R Us shelves. So your Lucasfilm games, and they're like, hey, we're the biggest retailer, but we're not going to carry your game anymore because it says the word lust on it. And so they had to redesign the box to the shitty box that also exists. Even this is a cool story, but like this is not a rare version of the game. This isn't like some rare thing you got to look for. I think every box that has like the full art on front is one of these lust boxes. So it's not that rare, but it's neat. And I learned that from a game development conference. It was like one of these like Ron Gilbert talks about how video games are made. And it was also funny because like there's like sexual innuendo in Maniac Mansion, and you can blow up a hamster, and there's like graffiti on the wall that's like call blah 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 for a good time. Like there's stuff that's not appropriate for kids, all the stuff that's censored in the NES version. But the word lust is what actually got it pulled from Toys R Us.
That is really lame, but it's got a cool story now.
Yeah. And then Johnny, the other thing I got is the first folder faux magazine release of Little Computer People, the game everyone's been looking for.
Oh man, is that like a prequel to SimCity or The Sims?
No. Is Raid on Bungling Bay a prequel to SimCity though? I don't know. No, Little Computer People, it's not a prequel, but it's a precursor to The Sims. So all it is, it's a stupid Commodore disc that you put into your Commodore 64, and you basically watch a guy just walk around his house and do stuff. So it'll be just like a house. You can see like the cross section of the house, and he walks over to the sink and he just does the dishes, and he walks over to the record player and he just dances for a while. And the cool part is the packaging, because it comes in this fake magazine, and the manual is the size of a magazine. I don't know, it's got like 20 pages or something, and it's all in like this fake article kind of format. And the idea that it's selling you, it's almost like Seaman for the Dreamcast, where it's not like a video game. It's like selling you that like this is an experience where you are going to do science with a living creature inside your computer. And it just really hypes up this really kind of mundane, boring life simulator. But it's also just like this landmark thing in the life simulator genre. So I still wanted to have it. Yeah, Little Computer People. Not a game anyone ever talks about. And this folio, I think it's really rare. But if you go on YouTube, like there's a couple like bigger YouTubers who have made videos about it, and they have this version of the game. So I don't know, I guess it's out there. It's cool.
All right. Those are cool things. I think
it. So when this came up, this is one of these things where I'm refreshing my save searches a bunch of times a day. And when I clicked this, it had 4 watchers on it. It was like $75 for this. And since I have put in my saved search, I think there is one later print that came up. It was like $200. I didn't buy it. And then this came up and had 4 watchers on it. And I bought it now so goddamn fast, Johnny.
You did it.
Yes, I absolutely did it.
Congratulations. Good finds.
All right, what'd you get?
Yeah, you want to hear about the cool stuff I bought?
Yes.
Okay. Normally, I don't like to talk about stuff before it arrives, as per principle and like not tempting fate. But as I was so into the Stephen King thing, which I lied. I said I didn't buy any books. I bought one package of books, but it was just because it was a collector's edition that looks neat.
Just one package of books.
Well, no, like it's a box set. It's 3 books. It's the Bill Hodges trilogy. And it's got like the little smiley face sticker on it and like blood on the side. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They're not the first prints. I want the first prints, but that was like, I could make the decision based on aesthetics alone there. Game wise though, tell me if you've heard of this. I don't think you have. Sealed. This is sealed now, mind you. Sci-fi Pinball Fox Arcade. It includes Buffy, Alien, Predator, The Fly. It's got a picture of Buffy on the cover. Not that Joss Whedon or his properties are the most popular things to talk about right now. But, yeah. It's really funny because it's like, it's got like Predator and Alien on it and like Buffy with a stake. And then like Jeff Goldblum, like becoming The Fly. It's all weird. And then you just got like, you know, attractive Sarah Michelle Gellar against all these ugly like monsters. You're just like we got to put the pretty face on there to help sell this thing. and it's pinball. And Tyler told me about it, so I was like, "That's cool. I didn't know about that. I'll go ahead and buy it." Reminds me of the oh god, what's the pinball for the Lynx that has Elvira on it? It's kind of the same deal.
I don't remember. But do you want to go into the rest of the story? Why did I tell you to buy this, Johnny? Or is this too much of a secret? You want to save that one?
No. That was the next thing I bought because I'm going in sequence. Then the next thing I bought was the Buffy big box PC game because Tyler also was like, "Hey, do you know about this thing? It's kind of rare and it's on Macari. Why don't you go get it?" And I was like, "Well, I'll put in an offer. It's $12 right now, so maybe I'll offer $9 and see what happens." And see, like, Tyler's like, "It's rare. It's not sold. Like, don't be a dummy. Just go buy it." And I was like, "Fine." I acquiesced.
It's $12 for a big box PC game.
That's just how I am. I just always offer if I can. So unless I'm like super worried. But when you told me like there's no solds anywhere, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't understand the rarity when you mentioned it. I was just like, oh, I guess that's a thing that would be cool to put with my Halloween games. And I like Buffy. So yeah, okay, cool. And then you're like, no, dummy, it's rare. Go buy it. I was like, oh shit. Well, okay, I'll go buy it.
Yeah. The pinball thing wasn't rare. Since you bought this, I wanted you to have the Buffy big box PC set. I don't know if there's more Buffy games or anything on PC. Like maybe one of those later release ones from the mid 2000s. But this is cool. This is like a stupid activity pack. Like maybe it has trivia, but it has like a calendar and like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just like garbage that someone just slapped a bunch of photos from the show into. It's got a screensaver and an address book.
It definitely has screensavers, right?
Yeah,
probably a whole CD of screensavers.
Awesome. Love this era of just garbage that you like. This is not a product that deserves to be in a 2-foot tall box, but because it's the 90s, it exists, and I love it. But yeah, I mean, you look on eBay, none unsold. You look on like big box collecting groups or like vintage PC forums, no one has ever talked about this thing ever. You look on Google Images, you type in like Buffy the Vampire Slayer PC box, Buffy the Vampire Slayer big box PC. There is nothing. Like, Johnny, fucking, you needed to buy this for $12.
Yeah, I agree with you. When you told me, I said you were right.
I just can't believe you put in an offer.
I didn't have all the knowledge you had, to be fair.
How much are you like in terms of just like packing something up, going to the post office? Like at what point is it just worth it to throw something out? Because I don't know this person. I think like if you're already selling a $12 item and you're minus Mercari fees and you get $6 for shipping, I guess it was like $18 shipped. Like, all right, that's like borderline. But like if you offered like $8, I'd be like, I'm just going to throw it out.
I expected a negotiation. I expected to pay 10.
Yeah, I was going through. What did this happen today? I was going through Mercari like today or yesterday, and I just kept finding cool stuff for other people. So shout out to all the people I sent stuff to. I hope I curated your selections well. And if you didn't receive something from me, it's because I think you have no interests.
I didn't do a lot of looking. Also, I was sick last week, and then my son's daycare got shut down, and then I went to the hospital at the beginning of this week. So yeah, it's been rough, dude. I've been like, and then like my uncle died. It's been just like got a memorial coming up. There's been no like time for even like video game hunting. It's been real dumb.
All right. So, well,
what are you gonna do?
I hope your Buffy games make you feel better. You should fill your sad emotions with physical objects, Johnny. That's
clearly
the way Collector's Quest.
Yeah, that's retail therapy, and then eat until you feel better. I'm doing both of those things.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually not eating like anything. I'm on the blandest of bland diets right now. It's the worst. I'm like, oh, let me enjoy my my chicken broth and my toast. Filling.
I'm sorry to hear this, Johnny.
Yeah, it happens. What are you gonna do? Sometimes you get sick.
I mean, well, anyways, while you're sick, did you play any video games?
I did. Not the first day because I was in too much pain to even do so. And actually, I was playing before because I had some like weird downtime because my son was he was home. There was no daycare for him because I shut down his daycare. So like he was home and he would take naps. I'm like, oh, I got like 2 hours and I don't want to like get super involved in anything. So I started playing Call of Duty. So what I did was play Call of Duty.
I thought you were going to say Metroid Dread, and that has been just like pushed off my list. That is like a later this year kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to get to Metroid Dread, but I can't focus. I'm like, as I'm sick right now, I'm literally like, I'm in pain if I move. So I'm like kind of distracted. But yeah, I've been playing. I played enough of like, I went back to one of the old ones and like the Modern Warfare remake. And then I picked up Vanguard because why not? And yeah, I've been playing Vanguard recently. So there you go. If you want to get in some COD time with me, just find me on Xbox.
Anything else, Johnny? Something that I can't respond to anything with Call of Duty anymore. I have no context and there's nothing to say about it.
No, there's nothing to say. That's all. I've got nothing else I played. 2 video games? Are you a madman?
Johnny, I've been playing Ultima 4.
Yeah, more Ultima, huh?
So
Are you the ultimate Ultima yet?
I'm not the Avatar yet. I'm trying to be the Avatar here, Johnny. I gotta become the master.
You're still on the quest to become the Avatar?
I gotta find the runes, and then the runes unlock like the temples, I think. And then the temples you can meditate at them, but you need to be virtuous in each of the virtues. And you got to go into the dungeons, and the dungeons are named like the opposite of the virtue that they represent. And then you find the stones in the dungeon, and then you go to the altars, and the altars connect the dungeons, but there's like 3 dungeons that are connected to an altar, something 4 dungeons maybe, and you have to put the stones in the right order. There's so much goddamn shit in this game. Like Ultima 3 you could go through, and it's one of those RPGs where like it's pretty complex. You maybe want to keep notes, and I certainly kept a lot of notes. But this game, like if you were a 9-year-old kid, yeah, I could see it from 2 ways. Like either you could not play it. There's too much going on. It's literally too complex of just like stuff you got to manage. It's not like hard. It's just like you got to manage a lot of information because the game doesn't repeat it to you or tell you at all what you actually need to do. Or the other thing is, if you were 9 years old, you could literally, like 100%, you could play this game for 200 hours and not beat it and just be like, I'm going to play Ultima 4. I don't know what I'm doing. I just feel like getting lost and fighting some random battles today.
Sounds terrible.
I guess it's cool. Yeah, it's Ultima 3 I was pretty excited for because the simplicity made it kind of easy to play. And this is just like, yep, it's one of those complex, kind of annoying to play old RPGs.
I mean, granted, I only played the NES and Super Nintendo versions, but like every time I played one, I'm like, I don't like this game. I just don't like anything about it.
So I'm playing the NES version, and in Ultima 3, they had so the way the world map worked is you see a shadow, and if you wanted to avoid a random encounter, you just run away from the shadow, and you never have to get into a random battle. But this game was ported by FCI, who's a Japanese company. And in Ultima 4, it's just fucking Final Fantasy random battles everywhere you walk. And it's, I hate it, Johnny. And it's not like Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy would be like, here's 3 dudes. In Ultima, it's like, here's 12 dudes. Time to have a turn-based, like grid-based combat system. It's so annoying.
I think the worst recent game of memory that I played RPG that was Octopath Traveler. As much as I was really enjoying it, I spent over an hour in one boss battle, and then I lost. And it like took me 15 minutes to walk there, and then an hour to play, and then lose. And I didn't feel like I was winning at all. Yeah, games like that just no thanks.
So, I mean, I'm there's only so much history I'm getting from this because I'm playing the NES version, but like, I get it. It's a shitty old NES RPG of a port of like a computer game. It's a fucking mess. I get it. But for Octopath Traveler, anything like that, like, Johnny, all the great minds of RPGs got together and they made this game called Chrono Trigger. And it was fucking awesome. And it had all these battles, and you'd only fight them once, and you could just walk around the world and do whatever you want. And it didn't rely on like this shitty, outdated system from like the early 1980s. They figured it out. When did Chrono Trigger come out? I don't know, 1993, something like that. Why the fuck isn't every JRPG? Why didn't they figure out how to make video games yet, Johnny?
I'm okay with like some of the grinding and bullshit stuff you have to do. And like I said, I was enjoying Octopath Traveler, but like, a battle just shouldn't take an hour. And like, maybe I was doing something fundamentally wrong, but like, it You should just time out. It should just be like 20 minutes. Like, I'm sorry, this is taking too long. Just stop. You win because you timed out your opponent, or you just have to start over because you just don't have this right.
I'm trying to think of like a boss fight that took an hour that I actually like enjoyed. Like what are like the longest boss fights? There are definitely boss fights where like I got stuck for a long time. Like I'm thinking of like Omega Pirate in, was it Metroid Prime or Metroid Prime 2? I remember that was really hard for me like when I was playing that. But yeah, like one RPG boss for an hour is...
I mean, and RPG fights, like, they aren't that interesting, right? Like, you're like, here's what's happening. I'm trying to cast the right magic because you've, like, got some counter thing going on right now, and I don't want to, like, send fire when it's going to bounce back and do a bunch of damage to me, and then you're going to do a really big attack, so I have to make sure everybody's healed enough so no one dies, because once one person dies, then it just all goes downhill from there, and I'm just going to keep doing physical damage with the guys that can do it, and unfortunately this one character is totally useless in this fight, but I need them to kind of heal, but oh god,
you gotta heal so they can take some hits, Johnny.
Yeah. And I'm just going to manage through that cycle of like, okay, you're going to heal everybody, and you're the guy who can cast maybe one magic spell that hopefully doesn't get rebounded into us, because the magic is doing the best damage, but if he's got the wrong like spell comes up, then it's going to blast me and kill my whole party. Like that's the whole fight. That's like every RPG boss.
Yeah, and I play a lot of tactical computer RPGs, where you like move on a grid and it's turn-based, and it always builds up to the last boss, and it's like, okay, there's a big guy and a bunch of little guys. All right, let's kill all the little guys, and then let's kill the big guy. And that's it. I've never felt the need to like really strategize. Oh my god, it's gonna be like fucking Fire Emblem.
That's my favorite part too. Like the boss is about to die, and now here's some small enemies that just come out of nowhere, or you got rid of all the small enemies, and this boss, which is just like a big physical brawler, for some reason can cast fucking Resurrect. You're just like, why? You're not a magician. I'm not fighting a fucking wizard.
You know which boss does that, Johnny? The thing in not Wii Fit, the Switch Fitness game. What? Ring Fit Adventure. I'm exercising, and then the boss is just like, here's 2 more new guys. And I'm just like, god damn it, I've already exercised the other 2 away, Johnny.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I hate it. Anyways, that's all we got. Is that it for the show?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Was there anything else I wanted to bring up?
Did you play anything else?
I'm playing Project Zomboid with Ada.
Oh, nice.
You know what that is?
No.
That game's apparently been out for like 10 years. I swear to God, it is the closest thing to The Sims in a zombie apocalypse. It's a really interesting game. It's an isometric post-apocalyptic zombie survival game. There is no goal to the game. It is assumed that you will just die eventually, but you're put into suburbia. It's like the classic infectious zombies. You're a sole survivor. You have to like go through houses, build a base, and like find all their shit and like scavenge for food. But it's super realistic. If you get bit once by any zombie, you will get infected, and within a few days, you'll just be dead, and the game is over. But, you know, it's got just a bunch of crafting. After a couple weeks of playing the game, all the water and electricity goes out, and you have to, like, go find water and boil it, and you have to, like, find generators and put gas in them. I don't know, we've been having a lot of fun with that. I've turned everything to, like, super easy settings, so we do not die and lose, like, dozens of hours of progress at this point. So we're basically playing The Sims with a mild zombie nuisance, but I'm having a lot of fun doing that.
Good.
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be playing Waifu Uncovered with Ada?
Oh, what's that? What's that game?
Oh, it's that co-op shooter I got you for Christmas.
Oh, I don't think I don't remember that one.
It
might be lost on the shelf somewhere. I'm gonna have to go double check on that.
I keep saying Waifu Uncovered, but I think it's not called that. I think it's just called play shooter with my wife. That's co-op adventure for couples, I think is what it's called.
Co-op shoot. I can't even think. What's a shooter that she would enjoy playing with me? It's probably not Waifu Uncovered.
Probably is.
I can't even think of a 2-player shooter I've ever really played that much.
I'm gonna message Ada and ask her to play it with you.
Okay, you can certainly do that.
Like, will you please play with this? I got it for Tyler, and he promised he would play it, and he says he won't play it with you.
Have you ever played a two-player shooter, Johnny? You're freaking me out. Have you ever played like a two-player, like sat down for a few hours with a friend and played a shooter? The only one I could think of is Ikaruga on the GameCube, because I just remember being like, my friend got it, and I'm like, why is there a shooter? These are old games for old consoles, but there's a new one. This is crazy. Let's go. And we sat down and we played Ikaruga for like a bunch of times, but. Other than that, I can't think of a two-player shooter I've played.
Well, this is one for you, and you can check out a video, see if you like it.
I'm not playing Waifu Uncovered with my wife.
Why? She is your waifu.
Yes. Honestly, Johnny, it is the genre more than the content. She likes isometric clicky games where we can kill some stuff and build some stuff.
I'm just asking for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
20 minutes, not a big deal.
All right. If she doesn't like it, she might resent you. But I'll do it. I'll do it, Johnny. All right. We gotta get off this stupid.
Like, I'm sure Ada resents me already. So
for
stealing your time.
Johnny, got something to pump.
Okay, pump it up. Pump it up.
I'm going to be recording an episode of the Lost Joystick Network.
Oh shit!
Featuring Platform Agnostic and Notorious J. We're going to be doing an episode on Ninja Gaiden 3. And if you don't know what the Lost Joystick Network is, because you're not one of their 7 Facebook fans, it is yet another podcast about old games. But it's by a couple of game collectors who I will say are fairly similar to us in their tastes and what kind of games they like, and their ability to appreciate games and collecting games and playing games from all eras, even though they do have a bias towards NES. But also, I think a bunch of people like us have a bias towards NES.
Correct.
So if you're looking for more podcasts like that, you can be the 8th fan of the Lost Joystick Network. And listen to me
definitely do that.
Tell them why Ninja Gaiden 3 is the best action platform game ever made.
It's weird that you keep saying Ninja Gaiden 3 instead of Ninja Gaiden 2.
And, Johnny, it's going to come up on the show. I will break down why Ninja Gaiden 2 is the worst Ninja Gaiden game, but still a really, really good game.
All right. Okay, I think that's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Tyler, where can the people find you?
Find me on the Instagram and Video Game Sages, because DNS is still broken. I'm Default Gen, Default GEN.
You can find me at Johnny_Iuchi on Instagram and Johnny on Video Game Sages. I think I'll have to log in and see if that works. And also on our Discord. That's the best place to find me now. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. And you know what we do here? We say bye!
That is our show. I'm sure like 7 people already sent me a message that Chrono Trigger came out in 1995. I'm sorry. I was not playing RPGs. I didn't even have a Super Nintendo in the 90s. Thank you to Apebit, apebit.bandcamp.com. Like the monkey, he makes our amazing intro music. And thank you to the patrons, Richard, patron number 1 Bowden, Canadian Variant Alert, Chris Glidden, Nintendo World Champion, Daniel Jacksvick, High-End Collector, Andrew Brim, Greetings, stranger. I'm not surprised to see Andrew Shelton around here. 50 Hertz is good enough for me, Andre. Ben Parker, a bad enough dude to rescue the president. Video games were meant to be slabbed. Brandon Ackley, Brian Gupta, and Pocky and Rocky with Becky. Mint condition, Brian J. Mora. The strictly limited super rare Bruno. Fat Cat Collector, Chris Jackson. Chris SNK, Too Many NES Accessories, Mrozek. He's really got too much. He's in an Instagram chat with me right now talking about like buying Famicom holsters, like new old stock Famicom gun holsters. Chris, you gotta draw the line somewhere. Johnny's GBA hookup, coffee with Mr. Saturn, playing with power, Connor Strange, the last game you need for the set, Corey O'Brien, unpunched hang tab, Dustin Beagle. Dustin Beagle, you are so valuable these days, Jesus! He has returned to judge this city, Eric Addison, man of Nintendo in the world of Nintendo, Funky Brewster, the actual Shinobi, Jasonic the Kid, Jeff the Game Boy Ferris, Red Pyramid Thing, Jonathan Shados, the Nintendo Tape Archivist, Joseph Leo, Lance Lord Hardstyle Z, the Degenerate Matt Fall, Mr. CIB, get your loose Genesis carts out of here. Funkoland employee, platform agnostic. I'm on his podcast. Everybody go listen to his podcast, Lost Joystick Network. It's an awesome podcast. Not the one I'm on. I'm going to be on like the worst episode, but I like all his other episodes. Now it's Red the Game Shark now, but I didn't have like the high energy one to go into the low energy one. Funkoland employee, platform agnostic, Red the Game Shark. The Famicom Box, retro game enthusiast. He was also on the podcast, by the way. They can beat Ghosts and Goblins twice, Shefish. Vintage video game connoisseur who knows they're better than modern games, the Fuzzy. Fuzz, you're not listening to this. I don't even know why you're on the Patreon. I know Fuzz in real life. I don't know why they signed up to the Collector's Quest Patreon. Sean, the Gamer Collective, the new craft who can beat Mega Man without the pause trick. Previously unknown variant, Tim Walker. From the internet, Todd Fisher. Can't put limits on collecting, BG Collectaholic. The Millennium, Will Joe. Keeper of the Zelda variant, 0x Def Code. I'm not mad that you completely outplayed me in Video Game Sage Werewolf. I'm just disappointed in myself. Getting the full PS2 set because Stefan won't. All caps. No gods or kings. Only Andy Lancaster. Man, that's like one of my favorite ones. What a 9.8 A++ Benji. The actually rare Bird Dog Gaming. Brandon Rogers, whose favorite episode is the wrestling episode. Dropping the Mario 64 Penguin off the map. So what happened here? Brandon, I got your name like spelled completely wrong, and you sent me a message on Instagram where this is just gonna be like one of these. We're not gonna get through the shout outs here. Brandon Chalker. I have his name, it starts with a TS. Dropping the Mario 64 Penguin off the map, Brandon Chalker. Oh, maybe that's how you actually spell your name, and you were just telling me how to pronounce it. Man, I'm bad at this reading names thing. Brandon Rogers, whose favorite episode is the wrestling episode. Still finding deals in 2022, Colton Murphy. A winner is him, David Green. Derek Flower, who made me edit this show. Don Libby, the hero of time. Actually understands the Zelda timeline. Jeff Pierce. He is Error. Jeff Russell. Jeremy Jarvis, here for the Pog Talk. Joe actually plays his games Champity, video game art collector because video games are art. Justin Chicchio, Lateral Movement, who's got a Donkey Kong kill screen coming up. Michael, posted in the Discord right now, Chiaramonti. Nick, the video game database Morgan. Homebrew Mastermind Divertov, the other guy who collects Korean releases, Peaceful Games. Dungeon Master Reed Stubenik. The Promoter, Retro RPG Podcast. Tom, Obscure Variant Chaser Chase. Zaventorian, he knows all 97 Nintendo games. 32 bits or less, do the math! Another nickname I'm very proud of. Andrew, actually collecting Engage O. Chesno, all your base are belong to him. Colby, he is Sinistar. Corhagen does what Nintendo don't. Daniel McArdle, who thought this was the Retronauts Patreon. The Modern Database, Danny Gomez. The Philatelist, Dork Overlord. My Childhood PlayStation Idol, Game-Rave.com. He's got Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case, guys. Like the holy grail of video games. One just sold on Heritage Auctions for $20,000. Compared to all the other bullshit that's sold on Heritage, like not enough. But you know what? Games are cooler for more than just their price, and Assassin's Case will always be one of the coolest collectible video games, man. Joseph Rogers got 50,000 on Double Dragon, collector of everything, including Atari, Kalen McAteer, Sega Sega Mark III Marks, who has told me he doesn't have a Sega Mark III. No, Sam, no one does. It's fine. Your name's Marks. You get the Mark III nickname. But I'll change it if you want me to. Sean, the video game Illuminati LaCroix. Thank you guys all so much. And if you can't tell, I have energy because I did this the day after editing, so I wasn't like, oh man, I gotta do the Patreon shoutouts after editing this show for 4 hours. Anyway, thank you guys. See ya.